I am Mr. Eager DM at your service, and we welcome you all in one? Sure. We welcome you one and all to Trapped at Home, a live stream Dungeons and Dragons experience brought to you by Lawful Stupid RPG. Thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. For the past year, this group has been playing through the 5th edition module Descendants into Avernus, but tonight we continue our hiatus from the plains of hell and look in on a different set of adventurers from an earlier time. Joining us tonight we have Zelmira the monk, Cordelia the cleric, Shamsiel the fighter, Boletus the druid, Artem the artificer, Sekhmet the sorcerer. Jexter the bard is unable to join us tonight as he is trapped in the evil clutches of work responsibilities, but he would much rather be here, and he sends his best. Also, I'm in a hotel, using a laptop that is so old I'm pretty sure it runs on coal. Please bear with me for any slowness, and players, be prepared to vamp.
Clean coal, though, right?
Clean coal, of course. It's perfectly healthy.
Solar-powered coal.
Oh. My friends, it is time. I extend my hand, inviting you to step with me into fantasy. Release your hold on that which you know to be true, and let imagination rule for the next few hours. Last time, the adventurers continued their exploration of Fistandia's mansion, a magically constructed dwelling in an extra-dimensional space. As they hunted for the lettered tomes that would provide the means for their return to the prime material plane, they learned that the Ivy Mansion, home to the notorious Harple Wizards, allies of the adventurers, was under attack. Moving quickly, they slew a monstrous mimic and its brood masquerading as a dining table and ale tankards. They encountered Ashenmal the fairy dragon, who was unhelpful and obstructive with its euphoria-inducing breath weapon. Several of the party were permanently wounded by a golem-like construct in a sparring dojo. And they learned of the fate of Fistandia herself, who had tried to harness the power of a genie and paid the ultimate price for her folly. Finally, after acquiring all of the tomes, they were able to unlock the exit and return to the Fuzzy Quarterstaff Inn. But before they could fully materialize back upon the prime material plane, they became aware of a ferocious battle taking place. Apparently, the book that Corcoran Pebblemoss had taken with him out of the mansion was the very one that had contained Fistandia's genie, which was now laying waste to the Ivy Mansion. In an attempt to banish it, Pebblemouse shouted for his homunculus, Coriander, to throw the genie's book into the now open portal and back into the mansion. But the creature mistook him and instead threw in the joy of extra-dimensional spaces, the book that contained the anchor which tethered Fistandia's mansion to the prime material. An instant away from escape, the adventurers were instead sucked back into the confines of the mansion, and they soon came to the terrible realization that they had been cast adrift in the Astral Sea. Adventurers, as the initial shock of what has happened wears off, your thoughts turn to ways out of your predicament. Having already been through every room of the mansion, you may begin a second, more thorough search to see if there might be anything useful you missed. Where do you search? Or, more importantly, is there anywhere you do not search?
I just want to go back and ask a quick question, DM.
Sure.
The genie that was laying waste to the... was that the one that we freed?
No, you freed an Afriti.
Afriti, okay.
Freed the Afriti. Sounds somewhat Italian. That had been, and you would have gathered from the notes that you read in the in her sort of schoolroom-like laboratory, that she had summoned it specifically to ask questions about the genie that was in the book.
Gotcha.
And the genie, what you saw of the genie when you came out, it was enormous. It was, almost godlike in its size.
Yikes. Okay.
Could you show us the mappy map so we can
Indeed, I
remember
could.
the rooms?
Yes.
Yeah, any rooms with the traps in.
Sailing away.
Any rooms with the traps in I avoid.
Okay.
I would
Just a second
be.
here.
I would be interested in searching, maybe closer. I know, in the ladies' bedroom there
Mhm.
was the trap. Is there like a bedroom for the gentleman, or?
There appeared to be only the one bedroom.
Okay. Maybe avoiding the trap. I would want to search more in there.
Yes,
'cause-
obviously the trap is not currently marked on the map, but you know where it is. It's easily avoidable.
All right.
Searching the. So another question: do you all stay together?
Probably not.
Yeah, I feel like no.
Is this? If this is over days, then probably not.
This is within this is within the first sort of maybe 1 to 2 hours. We will have moments to discuss your feelings and the various challenges that arise over the next. But I want to allow you time to, or if you wish, you may have some time now. It is up to you, actually. This is a little bit of do we meta or do we play this out in real time? I will leave it to you.
Well, we haven't really checked this room, have we? I know there was like some sort of charm in there.
Right, first of all, we'll deal with Cordelia. Cordelia, with a thorough search, takes you just over every corner of the room. You discover that there is a small shelf underneath the bed upon which are laying 2 bars of metal. You remove them, and they are platinum. Each of them worth 500 gold pieces.
I will add to our loot pile, friends.
Loot pile.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Unless Cordelia decides not to put them in the loot pile.
Ooh. We have an unidentified ring and scroll too.
You do,
Yes.
and an unidentified rapier.
I can ritually cast Identify on all of those.
Very well. Do you have... You are an artificer. Do you have the ability to cast ritual spells?
I do.
Okay. Just double check. Cool. Then you find a +1 dancing rapier. This is what is currently in Dexter's possession. The ring that you found on the disembodied hand next to the pile of ash is a ring of acid resistance. And the scroll is a scroll of greater restoration.
Ooh.
No, we don't need that, so we'll throw that back out into the purple.
Right.
Get that out the window.
Yeah. We should keep on to that, but who knows what might happen? I'm sure I'll feel better after a sleep, but I'm not feeling good right now. So,
what else?
study?
Where else would you like to search, friends?
I would be curious as to.
Now, Cordelia, you've already searched the bedroom.
How much of the kitchen have we explored in like that back room in the kitchen?
Would you like to explore the pantry?
Yeah.
Then, Sekhmet, you find a small vial. It is a black, sort of an onyx vial, which makes it very difficult to determine what its contents are.
Can I look over Shamshel, and I just see, obviously I can see him struggling, so Can I see if I can aid him in any way? I mean, can I work out that it is a greater restoration that's needed?
Make an Arcana check. As you look at him, you see his wounds are healed, but his eyes are sunken in. He looks very gaunt. You can see a very strong definition in his neck. He looks both older and just almost as if he's not all there.
Sekhmet also took permanent HP
She did.
damage, didn't she? Okay.
I will place my hand on my chest and I will guide myself as I do the Ujima flip. 1 D4 top. Only a 13.
13. That is enough. You've ventured enough to recognize this sort of condition when you've seen it in the past. Whatever this creature that you fought in the dojo was, it had a power that when it punched, it actually drew life force out of its opponents and let it bleed into the ether. So it will take very powerful magic indeed to restore these people back to their full health. You've heard of situations where a good night's rest might be able to fix the problem, but you are not sure if that is the case here.
Okay.
And you do the calculation quickly, you realize you have 1 greater restoration spell.
2 injured.
Potentially.
What we could is kill you and I can animate the dead. How about that? No.
I can also do that.
Problem solved.
Obviously, he will relay this information. I think just a night's rest, we'll try that first.
Does anybody have anywhere else they would like to search? Just sort of scouring to see if there's any other clues or things that might help you determine a way to get back, or what exactly has happened to you. Although those of you with training in Arcana would more than likely have a very good idea of what's going on.
I would search if I was allowed to search.
I was gonna say, can I?
All right, good.
Zelmira.
So, thank you. Zelmira. We'll have Zelmira go first.
Okay. Zelmira would like to go out and search the garden area where the little dragon had been.
All right, so you go out and
Before you do, Zelmira, Artem is clearly irritated with you, so he's not going to make a lot of small talk, but he's going to tie a rope around your waist, and he's going to lead the end of the rope far down the hallway, so if you fall prey to the weird sensation in there, he can pull you out of it.
Okay, so as this rope cinches around Zelmira's waist, she turns her head over her shoulder, kind of shoots a questioning, a little affronted look to her brother, and continues on down the hallway into the garden.
all right, you step out into the garden, and immediately Ashenmal appears. He looks at you. It's like, what happened? What happened? Things have changed. Where's all the purple? This is ugly.
It seems that we have been sucked into this house and this plane for an unknown amount of time. I still don't understand exactly what happened, but we're here now and we're trying to find a way out.
Oh. Well, now that you're out, you can meet my partner. And appearing very, very slowly from invisibility is another fairy dragon that is a bit same color scheme, lots of purples, little blue and pink, but much more on the pink side, with a long tail that ends in a sort of a puffball of pink. And her eyes appear, and then her face, and she has wings that she sort of brings up, and then her tail kind of curls around her and curls around her face and touches her cheek. She says, "Hello.
Hello.
My name is Ashenmal."
Ashana? I am Zelmira.
Sorry, Ashenmal is the male, is the boy.
Ashenmal.
My name is Ashenbon.
Ashenbon. Okay. Ashenban, it's a pleasure to meet you. How long have you been here with your partner?
Well, we got in trouble when we moved all the books.
Right, I heard about that.
And Vistania made us stay out here in the garden until she said we could come back in.
Okay. So, do you know anything? When was the last time Vistania was here?
Oh, very long time ago. Very long time.
So earlier when I stepped in this room, some sort of magic overtook us, made me feel things I've never felt before.
Would you like to feel that again?
Not necessarily.
Consent. Always ask consent.
Yes, very important to always get verbal.
Yeah. Well, we can breathe on you and make you feel good.
Okay, but so why would I want that?
Doesn't everybody want to feel good? Some people don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I could be one of the ones who doesn't appreciate it.
Well, then you should. You clearly haven't felt it enough. That's not a really nice thing to think.
So,
shut up.
Okay, so getting back to the questions that I have, how can we escape this place? Any ideas? Just spitballing. Trying to figure it out.
I have no idea.
Okay, cool. Great. So, yeah, I'll be right back. And she goes back into the hallway and calls down
Hey, if you see Fistandia, can you tell her that we're very sorry? We want to come back in. Yes, we really want to come back in.
Yes, the next time I see Vistandia, I'll let her know.
Thank you!
So, sure thing. She walks out into the hallway and calls out to Artem and says, if you want to come back in this room and investigate further whatever strange fumes were in here before, they're gone now. So, I don't know if there's anything you felt you could have done earlier that you weren't able to do. Oh, also, another dragon appeared.
Hey. And he just walks past you.
Great. She follows in behind.
Hello again.
Hi.
This is my brother, Artem.
Ashenmal.
Hi. I have some bad news. We think Vistandia is, kind of, dead.
What?
Yeah, we think Vistandia is dead. I didn't really know how to bring it up, but Artem did a great job.
Oh.
So, if there's a way that I can kind of, break what's ever keeping you trapped here, I'd like to try.
Make an Arcana check, Artem.
I shall do that. I rolled a 21.
21. So it seems like this sort of punishment and or permission, as well as probably a lot of other effects that the mansion may or may not have at its disposal, are the purview of its master or mistress, which is set at the time of its casting. It is possible that you could be reset to a different person, but only if you have the ability to cast the spell yourself. And you are positive that such magic is well out of range of what you currently are. And as such, you can't think of a way that you could undo this forbiddance that Fistandia has put upon these two.
Is it just that they are... What is the specific definition of the spell?
They are not allowed to come back inside the mansion until Fistandia says they can.
Oh. Okay, so, this may not be your home anymore, but, if we can find how to get out of this plane collectively, you could come with us.
Well, that'd be great. You don't leave us here. That would be really boring.
We don't really want to stay here either.
You care for a little, fun?
No.
Yeah, they want to make you feel good.
Yeah, no,
It's fine. You'll be back.
Yeah. Well, you've been here for a while. What can you tell me about this garden?
The red fruits taste pretty good. The yellow fruits, not so good. That's a lie! Don't listen to him!
I was sort of thinking more along the lines of, she was a wizard. The magical properties of things that grow here.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, I'll just check myself. And I will do a thorough investigation of the garden.
Very well. Roll an investigation. Actually, no, you have plenty of time to do this. You discover there are, in fact, several plants that have some edible fruits and vegetables upon them. Some of them do taste better than others as far as your personal experience is concerned. The reds do not taste good. The yellows do. Ashenmal was lying. As far as magical qualities, the fact that anything's growing here at all suggests that there's some inherent magic that is providing light and sustenance to these plants. But then again, the light that's in this mansion is coming from no visible source that you have been able to determine. So it's all magic. Probably parts of it are more magic than others. As far as you can tell, the shrubs and plants and trees are natural, although how they're maintaining their existence here is more than likely magic.
All right. Then before he leaves, he'll kind of raise his hand up to, give the dragons a pet, and he'll say, I won't leave you alone. I know you guys have been alone for a while. I'm just going to grab some books and I'll be back. And he's going to go into that library and start looking for things that might lead us in a direction.
All right. So, as you are crossing there, let's see. Shamsiel, all of a sudden, you hear a voice in your head that is... you only had a chance to hear him speak once, but you're pretty sure that it is Corcoran Pebblenas.
Horrified by what has happened, we'll make every effort to recover you. Matters complicated by devastation wrought upon Ivy Mansion. Despair not, further communication imminent.
And that is it. You may reply if you wish. You have 25 words.
Is it definitely the next words I say?
Ooh.
That's 7.
I was so tempted. I will say no. You have a brief moment to confer with your companions before speaking, but only about a minute. And then you sort of self-actuate the spell and are able to reply.
We all together at this point? Sorry, just
doesn't sound like it.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't think we were.
Hey everyone! I got a message from Pebblemoss. The gnome guy, who was somehow asleep in here, which is really weird because it really messed us up, but he was just, anyway. So, yeah, they're going to try and get us back, but he says it's going to be hard. Artie, Belitas, do you know any way that we could actually help, make it easier for him?
I'd really need to read. I kind of want to see if there's anything that she might have written that might give us some insight.
I'm really always okay with how you talk, but right now we're kind of running out of time and we need to get it. Do you have anything? Just what comes to mind? I need to answer him, or I'm gonna lose there's like a little tether, and I can feel it just kind of like winnowing out and fading.
Sean, would Artem have any knowledge of planar travel?
That you may make an Arcana check.
All right. That's a 19.
And 19. You are definitely aware of the existence of other planes. One of the planes that is closest to the prime material is the Astral Sea. It is a place that you can, with proper magic and training, can actually send your astral self. You can project spiritual self into the astral plane for various reasons. But you are here physically. And as such, in order to get back, you would need access to the plane shift spell, which again is beyond your current abilities. And if you were in another plane, one that had more interesting features, you might be able to help out by describing what you're around, or maybe seeking aid from people that you see around. But in the Astral Sea, there's nothing. You are at a loss as to what you could say or do to help.
Yeah, no, we're fucked.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think that's true, but at least I hope not. What's anything to say to Pebble Moss?
Astral Sea? I mean, that's as much information as I guess we could give him.
Adrift in Astral Sea. Freed big Ifriti.
Fistandia dead.
Fistandia disintegrated?
Good.
Lots of information here. Research notes, tools, experiments, that kind of stuff.
You have run out of words.
Helpful to you? I was counting on my
You were?
fingers.
Okay, good. All right. I lost count around 19.
That was
Sorry.
exactly 25.
Good for you.
Including some definite words that did not need to be in there, but you
Okay.
know, that's Shane, so.
So, there is no response to this message, but you are positive that it went through.
So, guys, what was her name again?
Fistandia.
Fistandia. So she was really powerful, but it sounds like the plane shift spell is really hard, right? It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, I can't do it.
So, if she was traveling regularly with this, I mean, maybe she wasn't, maybe she was just going in and out of the door, but I don't know. It seems like this might have been a possibility for something like this to happen. You would think that she would have some sort of tool to help in case of an emergency in this little realm or something, right? Like, if you can always do it yourself, but why an emergency leave it to, drain your instead of having some sort of like safety valve,
That's why I'm going down to read her notes. So
right.
Yeah.
But what if it's a valve only she can access in the same way she's the only one who can release the dragons?
There's probably a way around it, right? I mean,
Artem just turns around and he walks down to the basement to read her. He's not going to
And
discuss
because Zelmira is still lassoed, she is pulled after
Oh no,
him.
I'm not. I'm not holding on to the rope anymore.
Interesting
great.
thing I'd like to see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do I think I could dispel magic, the effect that's on that they can't leave?
It's possible. Dispel magic is usually has to do with the level of magic that it's trying to dispel.
Yeah. Could be worth a try.
It could be. Certainly aren't going anywhere at the moment.
I'll head down with Artem.
All right, you head down with Artem. A little bit more searching around. So Artem, you go down to the sort of laboratory there that has all things there very well. You read through the notes. it is some fascinating stuff. You learn a great deal about the Jinn. They are creatures of elemental chaos, and the Jinn inhabit the plane of air. And let's see. Fortunately, a lot of the notes that I had as far as what all is in this room specifically are on my computer at home, not on my laptop. So,
Excellent.
You find you learn a great deal about the history of genie, especially their relationship to Kalimshan. They feature prominently in the history of that people. During the spell plague, a lot of the genie returned, and also a lot of people who had been masquerading as human revealed themselves to be part genie. These are the Genazi that now inhabit Faerun. And all Genazi who have elements of the various planes of elemental planes, they are all descended in some way or another from genie or genie-like creatures. At least with Faerun. You discover, after a very thorough search, a fascinating book that you don't think was written by Fistandia, as you have sort of looked very carefully over all of her notes and recognize her handwriting. It is something I'm going to need either an Arcana or a... What are your tool proficiencies?
I have cooking tools, thieves tools, and alchemy tools. But if I have an hour, I can create a different set of tools that I am automatically proficient in.
I've herbalism kit.
Herbalism. Let's just make an Arcana check.
All right.
I'm with him, so...
Yes, you did.
I've got +5. Do you want me to assist you?
Yeah, assistance would be great.
Yep.
All right.
I guide him. Good luck.
Thank you, because...
Snuck that one in there.
This is a good sneak, and it's
Can't
not
do
rolling.
my
There we
voice
go. Oh, here we
today,
go.
I'm struggling.
21.
Ooh, but don't forget you get to roll a d4.
I will roll my d4. 24.
This is very special. As an artificer and as a scholar, you've encountered a wide variety of books that detail schematics on how to craft various things. But without question, if you are able to correctly interpret what you're reading, this would be one of the more powerful things that you've ever even had the possibility of creating. An amulet of health.
Ooh.
These are detailed instructions on how to construct one.
Artem's eyes get really wide, and he's very excited. He forgets that he's pissed at Zelmira for a moment, and he will he'll go to Belitis, and he'll kind of give him a side hug. Hey, thanks, and he'll head up to the garden to read it.
You think, just based on what the amount that you've been reading, this is a long-term project. This is not something that you're going to be able to just construct.
Right.
This is going to be a arduous effort, but you now have the knowledge to do it based on these notes. Other than that, are there any questions in particular you have?
Sort of the nature of the spells that, like, I know it said that, she had the spells that kind of trapped the dragons. If there's anything along those lines that might...
As far as you can tell, it's not so much a spell specifically cast upon the dragons. It's the fact that she was the mistress of this construct in the extra dimensional space, and what she said went. And that applies to everything. Like, you could no more tell the brooms to stop cleaning than tell the fairy dragons that they are allowed to come back inside. They are...
is there any evidence of tools that allowed for planar travel in her notes?
Not that you are capable of discerning. That you're specifically looking for a spell or a scroll or a spell book, and you are not able to find anything like that.
No references to using any tools, even if the spell itself or the tool is not visible?
Make an Arcana check. Again.
Belitas? And
This is taking place over the course of several hours, by the way.
okay.
Yeah, I can aid, but then I also want to try one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I cast Animate Dead on the hands. And then I tell them, show me the way out of here.
All right. Can you post Animate Dead for me?
Yeah.
The second Arcana was a 14.
A 14. Powerful magic. If you had to guess, she probably never had to worry about it. She probably had access to the spell plane shift and could have shifted out of here at the very most with spending the time to, if she had the spell, to re-prepare it. But the reason why the mansion was tethered to the prime material plane was because of it was tethered to this book, this Joy of Extra-Dimensional Spaces. And as long as that was on the prime material, you could get back to it wherever it happened to be, provided you knew the password. Now that that book has been destroyed, there's not much you can do. Let's see.
I mean, I'm clutching at straws.
Yes.
Good clutch, good clutch.
So this is not a corpse per se, but because it's cool, I will allow it as you cast your spell, and the two hands just creep up and turn and look at you, and sort of face you.
Adam's Family style.
I high-five them both, and then... I say, show us the way out, will you? Come on, chop chop.
They don't appear to respond to your verbal commands, not having any way to hear you.
Says in
However,
the spell they've got 20 intelligence.
these particular do not. Funnily enough, these two animated hands appear to be particularly dumb. However, you are able to mentally ask them, and they begin to lead you upstairs. And they come through the study, and they walk right to the double doors, and one of them touches it, and the double door goes and swings open, revealing the gray expanse of the astral plane, and the two begin to float away.
One way out, I
Nothingness.
guess. Go out.
Huh.
Oh, you silly buggers. I'm going to thorn whip them both back in.
Okay.
Do you want to roll for it?
Yeah. Of course I do.
Oh, man.
Your whip actually, and rather than grab around it, it begins to fly out a little further. But you're able to get one and bring it back.
I've got range of 30 foot.
You've lost one.
Oh.
It is now out of range. However, you have recovered one. So you have one little vaguely feminine hand, long fingernails.
So creepy.
Let's shut the door.
Close that.
That worked. And then I'll just carry on back to study. Just tell him to follow.
Leaders, where did you get that female hand?
Oh, it was a
What's
corpse
that
down
for?
below. It was a corpse.
That's what remains of the mistress of the house.
The other one's out there.
I go to shake its finger like a hand.
No. You need to high five.
Oh. Quite elegant. Very, very, very cool. Does it communicate with you?
No. It's a hand.
It seems to understand. You know what?
Faerunian sign language?
Let me just click on cast. It just follows me
So
around.
basically, you can make the hand appear to have intelligence and do anything, but it's only obeying your mental commands.
Okay.
It has no intelligence. It's like if you want it to give a high five, you are basically saying, "Okay, move in such a way that gives a high five." So you are able to sort of marionette it away. Shout out to you there, Panda. About
That's what I was thinking.
in a way to make it appear to be intelligent as much or as little as you want, but it itself has nothing.
I've got an itch that I just can't scratch, so I'll tell it to just give it a scratch.
It goes down into your shell.
I was gonna say, into your shell,
Zelmir
and just
not like
finds that one little wrinkled spot and just.
So, oh, that's where it is. Yeah.
Gross.
That's really disgusting.
Alrighty. After a few, while Artem and Belitis are down in the laboratory, after about an hour, 2 hours, you get another message, Shamsio.
Prominent Harples gravely injured. Recovery expected, eventually. Genie attacked linked to massive upheaval in Kalimsham. Consequently, useful resources unavailable for divination of your exact location.
And I let. What were the last few words?
Usual resources unavailable for divination of your exact location.
Gotcha.
Is there anything that I would know about creating a beacon, Sean?
So based on your earlier Arcana checks,
That's some big ones.
the only thing that you are aware is that thought has much more prevalence in the Astral Sea than it does in the prime material. As such, if you were to, you think that, you know that if you were to, the only thing that's keeping you on the floor is the fact that you believe that this is the floor and you should be standing on it. If you concentrate, it's possible that you could float up in the air. As such, potentially, if you are able to somehow amplify your personality, your thoughts and feelings, you could potentially create a beacon. But you are aware that there are magics that simply give you the answers to questions that you ask. So if someone is actively looking for you and they want to know where you are, magic will be able to tell them regardless of what you may or may not do to aid them.
Okay, so I can't make it easier necessarily.
Based on your what you rolled in regards specifically to spells and plane shifts, that sort of thing, I recall it was not
21.
21? Didn't you have one that was 14?
That was the second one. The 14 one was the one that was looking for the tools.
All right, so the 21, yeah, magic this at higher level. There's nothing that you could do to help somebody find you in the Astral Sea.
And based on what you have said about this place, I mean, are there creatures out here? Are there things that exist on this plane? I mean, couldn't we accidentally call something to us that we don't want to find us?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, I guess we have some free time?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
It feels weird in here. There's like a uncomfortable lightness or something. It feels inconsequential. I don't know. And Shane will walk to the little observatory. It starts kind of wandering towards the observatory.
Artem will follow you.
The observatory is much as you left it, with the various telescopes arranged in such a way so that they are the different colors are correspond with the names of the cats that share their colors. And the light from those stars is shining through the back viewpoint and illuminating the crystal in the middle, and that of course is what opened up the secret door into the library with all of the books wrapped in chains except for the one which you took.
Is the so this little hill, is it, that's what I'm kind of seeing it as, right? Is there's a, could you describe exactly what this room
as you
looks
step
like?
into this room, immediately as you step in, there's a cool sort of a late spring breeze bringing with it the scent of fresh cut grass and wildflowers, and a little bit of jasmine. And it's a very not a steep hill at all. It only goes up by about 5 feet total, and just sort of arranged around it are these just different types of telescopes, and just splayed out above it is a glorious moonless night, just absolutely spectacular looking with stars. Very, very pleasant place to be. But the fact that there is an open door into another room, apparently just standing in the middle of what looks like it should go on forever, suggests that this is probably an illusion, and the room is probably no larger than 15 by 15 feet, and just happens to look the way it does due to magic.
What are you thinking, Shane?
I don't know. I just don't feel right, I guess. We did something familiar. It's nice in here. Feel a little more like myself, but I don't feel well, Artie. You'll keep, I know you always do, but keep an extra eye on Mira. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can be there, and, and if something happens in the night, I don't know how quickly I can wake up and all of that. I'm just not here. Not all of me.
Rest, Shane. We'll take care of you. Shane, I've been thinking a lot about what you said about how releasing that Afridi was a good thing. But what if he goes and does something destructive? What if he goes on and hurts someone or kills someone? Does an isolated good act absolve you from the aftermath that follows?
That's a hard question. I don't know the answer, Artie, to that. But I think you can't let the fear of bad stop you from doing what's good. And it was scary, right? It's a creature capable of destruction. It's a creature of fire, right? And so it's in its nature to burn, but on its native plane, that's what's natural. I mean, if you found a cage of starving wolves in the forest, would you let them go, knowing they're most likely to find deer, but they might run across a human? It's tough. I don't think there are any humans in that forest, or there shouldn't be. I don't know what I'm saying. We can't always read to the end of the book, Artie. It's not all written yet, and we just have to start the story off the right way sometimes and hope that that's enough for us, at least.
You see Artem concentrating hard.
Shane, I've kind of had to justify my existence to a lot of people. You know, Zelly and me, people look at us and they see evil. They react to what they see. So I understand how important it is to not judge someone or something by their appearance. But I've also experienced what happens when real evil is unleashed.
And he pauses and he takes a second to collect himself.
It's how I lost this. So it's important to me to think about the choices we make before we make them, even if it feels like it's an obvious choice. Does that make me bad, Shane?
Oh, no. But I think it's just, especially for us in this situation when we're talking about cosmic beings, maybe it's easy to, and maybe cosmic beings too, I don't know. Oh, man, I haven't laughed in a few hours. It feels weird. Where was I? Sorry. Beans, right. I think that it's easy to I guess demonize something that's just different and scary because we fear it. It's just because we fear it doesn't make it bad, right? I think that I saw that thing as a immense force, but it didn't. It had anger and frustration, but if I had seen malice in it, I would have agreed with you. But the only malice was towards its captor, and that to me is only natural. Maybe if it had been kept, the malice would have turned to you or Mira.
Maybe. Hey, if you want to rest here for a little while, I'll come check on you in a little bit.
I think I just want to sit on this grass for a bit. Look at the stars.
Okay.
And he's going to take Homunky Jade and just kind of set him on your lap. And she curls, in her little metallic form, kind of curls on your lap. And Artem will leave the room.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else anybody wants to do before trying to find some sort of rest?
If I'm able to continue searching,
Yes,
Cordelia.
you may, Cordelia.
Oh, thank you so much. Cordelia is kind of like very focused on trying to find something that could potentially find us a way out. She's almost in like denial of being stuck, you know?
Mhm.
She's starting, even though it's like a mansion, she's starting to feel claustrophobic. So I'm trying to think of a room that we've maybe not looked in a lot. This room looks quite busy and cluttered, and so does this. Have either of these two been searched?
That one was searched pretty thoroughly. However, you don't think that much time was spent in this room.
Which one?
Did I know? Oh, I pinged on the GM layer. Wow, I saw it.
Cosmic Beans layer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will have a look over there then. And she's almost not really interacting with many people unless she like comes past them, because she's very frantically just trying to find something. So yeah, I will search thoroughly in there, please.
All right. As you come into this room, you see that this is a bookshelf, and all of the books are chained to the bookshelf itself.
As in, like, they're kind of chained to the binder?
Yes, there'll be chains wrapped around the books, and then the chain is connected to the bookshelf. The only exception to this is the book that had the final letter upon it, which you took towards the end of our previous session.
Okay, and the books, is there a kind of a common theme of the titles? I know you don't judge a book by its cover, but is there like a common theme of potentially why these books are chained?
I will require an Arcana check for this one, Cordelia.
No worries.
Don't forget to roll your Kraken dice, people.
Can I roll my Kraken dice instead of the 5 that I rolled and I rolled 20?
Well, that's what you get, Cordelia, for not rolling your. I'm sorry, I've got to have consequences. You know, choices have consequences. So you look at these and they are bizarre. You don't understand the words. Some of them make a little sense. Some of them are garbled and have no sense, that it doesn't no meaning. They're out of order. Maybe if you tried to remove one.
Yeah. I mean, I would try to. Yeah. Should we go for like almost like Scooby-Doo of like trying to see if there's like a hidden passage of like if you pull the books out slightly?
Are you by yourself right now?
Probably.
Shane is in the room right the Starfield room right in here. But other than that,
someone saw me go in. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, she is alone. As you touch this book, all of the books that are on it begin to and then they spread out into the room like a large tentacled creature with chains returning back to the central location, and they begin to whirl about, and one of them comes sweeping towards you, and you put your hands up instinctually to ward off the blow, and it hits them and it hurts a little bit, but there's no force behind the blow. Another one hits you again, maybe a bruise.
What the heck?
Alarming indeed, but they're all sort of flying there, and occasionally one hits you, and as each one of them comes to hit you, they move a little slower.
Cut it out! Ow! Look, I'm sorry, okay? I won't do it anymore. And she'll slowly, like, arms up, like, back out the room if it lets her.
It does.
Does it seem to calm down as
it is continually trying to damage you, but the longer you stay, and it becomes easier and easier to dodge, and the chains move slower and slower until one by one about a dozen books chained lie on the floor, with the chains no longer moving. Just books and chains.
I'm gonna look at my spells real quick.
You all right in there, Cordy?
1, we've discussed this, do not call me that. And 2, no, check this out.
You kind of made a mess.
No. I touched one book. This thing came out and attacked me, but it didn't really hurt.
The books were hitting you?
Well, they were hitting me, but I mean, I've been hit harder by nuns with Bibles. It wasn't hard.
Yes, Bibles.
Those Farunian nuns with their Farunian Bibles.
I can confirm they have a nasty smack.
I'm gonna try and pick one up again, but if it starts waving around,
you're able to easily pick it up. There seems to be no resistance. If it weren't for what you just seen moments ago, you would think these are just books scattered on the floor that happen to be chained.
All right, I'm going to put it back on the floor, exactly where it was. And is there like a quill and pages near, like a books, something I can write in nearby?
In the laboratory room, there are numerous sheaves of paper and ink and quills for note taking.
I'm wondering, Shane, if there's a reason it's laid out in this order. I'm worried of picking something up and I don't. Autumn seems to like books. Maybe we should grab Autumn.
Yeah, that's fine. We could bring everyone. It's another puzzle. You think?
Oh, are you okay?
No, but I'll be fine. I think I just need to sleep.
Well, we'll bring Artem in here, and if you want to get some rest, I'll sit with you and make sure everything's all right.
No, I'm okay. I'll make sure I keep watch. But no, let's get everyone in here and see if we can figure this out.
She'll put a hand on his shoulder and look deep into his eyes with the kind of like scary face she gets occasionally when she's super serious. She's just like, I will keep watch. You rest, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go grab the
So-
others.
As the rest of you gather and begin to look at this puzzle, various opinions are made. Eventually, you come to the conclusion that there was some sort of protective spell cast upon these books, that if anybody other than Festandia touched them, they would attack. Why the attacks were so underpowered and appear to no longer be magically charged is a bit of a mystery. However, this is where Festandia kept her spellbooks. At a different point after the game, outside of game, I will give you the list of spells that are available, each of these books containing 1 or 2 spells apiece. You do find a book that is not a spell book. It has a familiar look to it. It is this dark leather tome with the gold embossed covering on the spine and on sort of the metal protrusions that come off of the spine, with the large medallion in the front of it, with the glowering face of Mordenkainen on the front of it. You open it up, and it is written in bizarre sort of cipher. It doesn't appear to be any kind of language that any of you can determine. Appears to be Mordenkainen's personal cipher. If anybody wishes, they may make an attempt to translate it.
If I spend additional time doing it, will I? Is it?
If you spend an hour working on it, I will allow you to make an intelligence check.
I will do that. This may end up badly, but yes.
What would require to work on translating it?
It's a cipher, so it's a code. It's just a measure of like, even if you are able to determine how the cipher works and be able to translate it, it would still take you a great deal of time to translate it. This is just to see whether or not he can break the cipher.
Yeah. Okay. What do you use to? I'm sorry. I was just.
Oh no, that's fine. Go ahead.
It was just a game question. What do you use to check to whether you can decode the cipher?
Whatever the DM tells you. This will be a intelligence check, just a straight intelligence.
Okay.
Is
How
that something
smart is Artem?
Is it something that he could ask for guidance on?
Yes.
I was gonna suggest it, but then I thought when he said you've got to spend an hour studying it, I thought obviously
you can't. Unfortunately, guidance doesn't work that way. Yeah. So this is an hour. You can't have Bolitas come in the last 10 minutes. And, you're almost done, and pow!
That's fair.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to use my D20 inspiration on this.
Very well.
Okay, could keep tapping you every minute,
and I'm gonna.
And you're good.
Oh, not good. It's not good.
Did you roll your Kraken dice?
No, I should have rolled my Kraken dice. I literally had it in my hand, and I got so accustomed to clicking on
2 difficult lessons have just been learned.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I critted on this so much last game.
You did.
I rolled a 6 and a 10 with a +4 modifier, so I'm going to hold on to the book and try again later.
Indeed. And with that, eventually you all find a corner of the mansion, either on the bed in the master bedroom, on this grassy knoll that Shane has found. There are a couple of other potentially more or less comfortable places.
Like the bear rug.
The bear rug. Many of the chairs look particularly comfortable, and you're able to take a long rest. I wanted to mark your character sheets accordingly.
Where's that? What's that do for my health?
Well, make sure you click the long rest first, and then I will tell you.
Okay.
Cordelia will spend a while just keeping over an eye of Shane and, just making sure that he's breathing okay and that he's not, getting worse, and just very much almost like sisterly, like very much trying to take care of him while he's asleep.
I'm assuming you have the scroll of greater restoration, Cordelia.
I do not. I was not given that, I don't think.
I found it. I've been holding on to it myself.
Okay, very well.
Further, so both Belitis and I had 1 point of exhaustion. Can we assume that we eat and refresh ourselves, or?
Yes, with a long rest, you you lose a point of exhaustion per long rest.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to make, because that was part of.
You are back to normal. Your ordeal in the purple miasma undone by a good night's sleep. Does anybody sleep in the Arboretum?
Which one's that? The green and that?
I think Artem would sleep in the Arboretum.
In the green, that's where I would be sleeping as well.
Yes, you'd sleep in there. All right. I will need wisdom saving throws from both of you.
Okay.
Not really. I'm not really staying there. Crack a dice, everyone. Crack a dice.
Oh, cracking dice. Cracking dice. Too late. Damn it. Okay, well, I got a 21 on my wisdom save.
You done all right. I've got +7 to save, so I rolled a 9 +7, so 16.
All right. An uneventful night. Some pleasant dreams, but other than that, nothing.
Cool.
And as you wake up, Ashen Mala is there looking at you just like,
Even when you're asleep? Man, you guys are really just a bunch of sticks in the mud.
Remember, consent.
Yeah.
It's not really that powerful.
We're also trying to help you.
You must forgive him. It is his nature.
I could charm you, you know.
Oh, that would be an interesting sensation.
Try it, bully.
No, I won't.
she sort of puts her wings out and sort of lifts her neck, sort of accepting the charm.
Oh, we're in there. Okay, I thought I was in the star one, but that's all good.
Oh, it's up to you.
No, that's right. It's been done now. It's fine.
Are we at the other end of the long rest, Sean?
You are at the end of the long rest.
Artem is going to head into the pantry and see if he can cobble together and make breakfast for everyone.
All right.
And I will head off to see what Shane's like.
You all awaken and discover that your wounds and bruises feel much better. Shane, Sekhmet, there's no change. You are still greatly diminished from what you were.
So we need the scroll then.
Oh, I need to fix that then.
You do have like an extra pillow and an extra blanket on.
I suggest Sekhmet does it. She's got a feature that could target both of you.
What?
Yeah.
Sekhmet is
twins.
greater restoration on your spell list.
Let me check. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to fix my hit points again and I forgot.
That's clever.
She's got twin spell, and I believe it is on her list.
I thought we had the scroll though.
You do.
Yeah, the scroll, but can you cast Greater Restoration as a divine sorceress?
Oh, that wouldn't be
Can
on.
you cast
You get
Restoration?
the entire cleric spell list as
there
a
you go,
divine.
then.
I think.
Definitely.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Our rules lawyer is in chat. She can
I
cast
was
it.
just checking it. Yes, it is on your spell list. Now, the next question is, can you twin spell a scroll?
It's the same as casting a spell, isn't it? Yes, apparently you can.
All right.
So I have more spells than what's in my spell list?
It's fine.
So, this is a scroll that has a spell on it that is on your spell list eventually, which means that you can cast it. However, it is a more powerful spell than you can currently do, so it will require a check. However,
I give her guidance.
You can use Twin Spell to cast it upon both Sekhmet and Shamsio. Very powerful magic if you're able to cast it. You know you have the ability to, but it's going to take a lot out of you. You can cast it upon yourself and Shamsio if you roll high enough.
Remember,
Alright.
you've got guidance and you've got a D6 inspiration that you haven't
Yeah,
used
let's use that
yet.
inspiration.
Wait, you don't need it yet, but you don't need to use it unless you get roll high.
Yeah, right.
Use your Kraken dice.
Yeah, just roll.
Just roll.
Just roll. Do I add any? What did I roll for? What
What
was
did
I
you?
rolling?
What's the number on the die?
Yeah.
That's a 2.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So,
Oh no.
there is no way that you are going to be able to beat a DC 15 spell check, I'm afraid, with a roll of a 2. So, you have the scroll in your hands, and you read it, you concentrate, you call upon the power of the pharaohs, power of the desert, the power of the dead, power of the living, the power due a goddess. The spell scroll disappears into ash as you hold the power in both of your hands, but you're too weak. And
I thought you said you were a goddess.
fall to your knees, and the spell fizzles.
I'm
with
gonna
no
be.
effect.
It's
Sekhmet's like in denial about that, and she thinks it's because she's too powerful that it disappeared and didn't work, not because she wasn't strong enough. Because
Well,
there's
I
no
will
way she can be.
It's a caster level check, right?
yeah, DC
Doesn't she get
15
plus 5
plus
for
5,
her-
so 2, so
and
7.
then she gets guidance and a and a D4, which
I
equal if
forgot
she
about
rolls
the
max, that's
D4.
plus 15
yes,
right there.
that's true. If she rolls max,
Good
She
luck.
has to roll really high.
I stand corrected. There is a possibility that you could cast the spell with the roll of a
Yeah,
2.
it's a-
That is almost.
Is that
you're
4
one
on the
away from having-
4-sider?
So go for it. Roll
Or
a
on the
D-
4-sider?
If you roll a 4 and a 6 on a D4 and a D6, then you are able to cast this spell. And my
Here's the D6.
Oh,
Oh, it was close.
okay,
So she got 12. It was
12.
close.
come here, Shane. Let me put you out of your
Unfortunately-
misery.
yes. So
Yeah.
my description stands.
Wait.
And
Oh, wait, no, my bad. Sorry.
you
I
are
was like,
not able to cast the spell.
I was
Darn
like-
my powers.
I was like, the D6 inspiration. And I was like, wait, you just did that.
Just use it. Yeah.
And that was my inspiration used up, yeah.
Yes.
So let's take that away.
Thanks for trying, Sekhmet.
So is the scroll gone now?
Yes.
It
Powers.
is. It has been used and it has disappeared.
Hmm.
So in the kitchen, as you come in, you see now spotless from the battle, the combination of Jexter's cleaning prestidigitation and also the broom. It is sparkling clean. As you step in there, 5 bowls appear on the floor, and they begin to fill themselves with different types of meat. And before long, first 1, then 2, and then all of the cats sort of make their way in, stretching, some of them yawning, and they proceed to eat with relish.
Sounds like a terrible condiment for cat food.
Found the lost relish. And it is relish.
Is there any food in the pantry?
You did not find any food in the pantry, Sekhmet, when you searched the day before. There is a pantry, but there's no food to be seen.
Even
Eat
with
the
a
cats.
thorough exhaust. No, terrible.
The only food that you see is what the cats are currently eating.
Are there any other bowls?
There are not.
There are not. And there's nothing else in the pantry of consequence.
Nope. It is clearly set up to have food in it, but again, perhaps linked somehow to the will of Fistandia.
Yeah.
She needs to will food to appear. And although it's a little disconcerting to not see any food, you do have at your disposal, through magic, the means to sustain yourselves.
Also, we got some fruit trees.
We do have fruit trees. I will go grab some stuff from the garden and I'll make a little fruit salad for everyone.
Indeed. You are able to do this with little difficulty.
Do you go all Edward Scissorhands on it to like cut up the fruit with your mechanical arm?
But the funny thing is, his cooking tools are also part of his mechanical hands. So there's a whisk, there's a little blender, an immersion blender, and he's
An immersion blender.
he's
He wants a bisque.
All of William's Sonoma just right on your hand.
That's right, man.
$1,000 of pasta roller attachments right there.
This morning proceeds.
Zelmira wanted to do something, if that's possible.
Of course.
Okay, so she had fallen asleep in the room with the bearskin rug, just curled up on one of the overstuffed armchairs. She had just drifted off there, and then in the morning she heard the ruckus from the kitchen, and assuming it was her brother, walks into the kitchen and asks, is there food? Is there anything to drink? I'm really tired. Did you make tea or?
There's not much, Sally. I'm doing what I can.
So, you've been pretty quiet the last day or so. Is anything going on that you want to talk about?
He's just like, you can see his face all screwed up, and he's just, then all of a sudden he just kind of blurts out, Sally, you make me so mad sometimes!
Okay, what did I do this time?
Sally, I know you're stronger than me. I know you're faster than me. I know you do a lot of amazing things I'll never be able to do, but it really hurts me when you don't listen to me sometimes. I don't think letting that Afridi go was a good idea. You're impulsive, Zelly, and I get scared that one day you're going to make a rash decision you're not going to be able to undo.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that you're worried, but I really didn't see...
No, you didn't see. You looked and you leapt without thinking. And it makes me so mad, because if something happened to you,
And then he just kind of shakes his head.
No. I'm still mad.
Okay, I respect that you're mad. I'll try to be less impulsive in the future. I mean, you're right. I sometimes get an idea in my head and I just go for it full steam ahead. And that's something I've always done. And I mean, nothing that bad has happened yet, right?
It just takes once, Zelly. Just promise.
I promise. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. You know you're the most important thing to me. And that I value you.
Artem nods his head, and his tail comes up from behind his shoulder, and it just hovers an inch before your nose, and he goes, boop.
Zelmira's tail does the same thing. Boop. And then she kind of shoulders him out of the way, looks at the fruit that he's preparing, and asks, is there anything I can do to help here? Do you want me to finish this? You can go sit down.
No, I'll do it. Just tell everyone breakfast is ready.
Will do. And she kind of again nudges him in a sibling friendly way and walks out of the room to get everyone for breakfast.
Artem, because you are, I believe, skilled in cooking tools.
I am.
Correct?
Yes.
You estimate that there is enough fruit and vegetables in the garden to last for 3 days for the group.
3 days. And rations.
And then you have your rations, of course. If anybody cares to, make sure you prepare the proper spells for create food and water and or Goodberry. This day, after you eat breakfast, the hours move on with little to differentiate them. Despite the vegetables and fruit, around lunchtime, you're hungry again. There's nothing left over. Eat your rations. But this opulent mansion, looking around it, is beautiful to behold, but now that you've had a chance to really look through it, you'd rather be at a ramshackle inn or somebody's simple but well-lardered farmhouse. The kitchen seems only capable of making cat food. Whatever command words it requires to make other food seems to have died with Festandia. And in approximately 8 hours after you eat breakfast, there's and the small bowls appear again, and the cats return and eat the meat. And it is cat food. But despite yourself, there's a sort of a feeling of jealousy. Throughout the day, I imagine one by one, you spend a little time in the Arboretum, and Ashenmal and Ashenbon are more than happy to provide blasts of euphoria as you desire. However, the wiser among you may realize that there may be an addictive element to this distraction. As the hours of this day draw on, adventurers, what would you like to do?
I'm going to try to translate the cipher again if I can.
You can. It is a new day. You may roll.
Doing the Kraken dice.
Okay.
Let's see it.
18 on the die plus. What would the check have been, Sean?
Intelligence. So
that's 22.
22. Parts of it, you think, I see the pattern. I see, yes, and you feel like you've just about got it until you find two little pieces of the puzzle that just don't fit. And if those two pieces don't fit, then it means that it's all wrong. You have to start again.
Crap.
This will take you a while this day, so this definitely occupies a good deal of your time. But you also have the manual of the schematic of the manual of health, which you can also work on.
Is that a separate check, Sean?
No, this is just something you can do. If you wish to build it, it will require a certain number of hours over a certain number of days to create.
Yes.
You may begin if you wish, or you may save it for another time.
I will begin. What else are we doing?
All right. With your ability to change tools and with the various implements that you're able to find in the various corners and laboratories and such of this mansion, you have the tools necessary to at least begin construction. Paging forward, you see that in order to actually finally make it, it's going to require some precious gems and or metals that do not appear to be available here.
Okay.
But you can get to that point. Anybody else have anything they wish to do today?
I'm going to go check the room with the trap in it in. So this one here, obviously avoiding the trap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to thoroughly check this place. Anything on the floor, like any loose stones or anything. So,
make an investigation check.
Clutch it. Oh god. Oh, okay. Still not. It's not too bad, but it's not great. +2. I rolled a 6. So 8.
6. So a total of 8.
Yep.
Definitely no loose floorboards. They're very tightly mortared into this patio, and nothing catches your eye, except of course that last time you were out here, there was a purple miasma as far as the eye could see, and now
There's
it's
nothing else
gray
as
in
far as I
color.
can see.
With an 8, I'm afraid not.
That was investigation, so there's nothing like out on the yonder.
Oh, perception, indeed. Yeah, make a perception check. Your passive does not pick up anything.
My perception's +6. Can I guide myself as I look?
You
out
may.
on the yonder?
Spend some time really searching out into the
staring out. So that's a D20 and a D4. I rolled a 12 +3. That's 15. 21 total.
21. You gaze out into the void. You think you see something very, very far distant. You squint at it, and over the next half an hour, it appears to get a little closer, but it is still very, very far. How far? Difficult to say, because there's no point of reference. This is either something that is small, that is not too far away, or something that is large, that is very, very far away. As it gets closer, with your 21, you begin to suspect it is neither. It is medium-sized chunk of rock floating through the void.
I use one of my wild shape abilities to summon a familiar.
What do you summon?
A flying familiar. It's Fey, so something that's flying that can survive.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that, Mr. Druid.
Fey. Anyone?
Things that fly. Sprites, pixies. Pixie?
Pixie?
You could even summon just a regular animal. For the purposes of this, I would say you could summon an animal that has the Fey quality to it, as long as it's nothing
I
too
summon an owl.
large.
An owl's
An
got owl. Yes, it doesn't matter what it is. It's still Fey. And I just send it off into the distance, and I sit down and just I tell it to go and search for anything, and then come back.
All right, so it flies up in the air, and begins to beat its wings as it
use your
moves,
mind.
As
Use
it
your
moves
mind,
20
you
feet,
idiot.
as it moves 20 feet beyond the edge of the patio. It beats its wings and doesn't appear to be getting any air resistance, and it's just sort of beating its wings annoyingly. And then you tell it to use its minds, and it kind of brings its wings back in, and begins to just sort of float. Bizarre looking thing, almost as if it's perching, and every now and then it moves its claws as if trying to find something to press against, but it just sort of moves, although much, much slower than the speed of an owl flying would be.
I think it lasts for 3 hours.
So through the 3 hours, it sort of moves around, and at the end of the 3 hours returns saying that all it has seen is similar to what you have seen. Nothing of interest, only the occasional chunk of rock.
That's rubbish. And then I get the go inside my shell and take a short rest.
Right. Anybody else have anything they wish to do in the course of this day?
Can I follow a cat around for the day?
Of course. Every now and then, which one do you follow? Red,
It's the moment where everyone's going
blue,
insane.
green, white, or brown? Or or black.
Black. Start with my closest kin.
All right. You follow the black cat, not black, sorry, gray. You follow the gray cat around, and occasionally it stops and looks back at you. Continues. One point, it appears, looks back at you. Its eyes, pupils are dilated. Its ears go back and then come up, and it comes down.
Get down on its level. Put my paw out.
Does the sort of butt wiggle. And then it just begins to just zoom all around the room you're currently in, just over chairs. And it goes around. And going around the various bookshelves, just sort of scrabbling around. And every now and then it stops and makes that sort of chirping sound as it has the zoomies. And after about 5 minutes of this, it seems like it's about to stop.
I rip a small tassel off of like one of the wrappings of my rope and interact with it a bit to get a bit more comfort for it to trust me a bit more, and then
interesting. Yes.
Kind of see what it's.
As far as you could tell, it is a normal cat.
I check on another cat.
So, which cat do you check on?
Let's go with the red.
All right. Much like the same. They are cats.
What
make an animal handling check. On
what
this
room
red
did
cat.
the last one stop in? What did it have the zoomies in?
It had the zoomies in the library there on the second floor. On the first floor, the one that's here.
With the bear rug or the dismantled one?
The one that is a bit of a mess. Excuse me. This one.
Okay. And does it like seem to stay there? Like, was that its path, or was that? All right. Let's do
looking around at the cats, there doesn't seem to be any particular like this is this cat's zone.
My doors. I did it too.
So I see a 13. The cats seem to treat you with the same amount of regard as they treat everyone else. Just maybe they tend to rub against you a little bit more than everyone else. But other than that, you can't see any way that they are different from any other cats. Although you do notice one odd thing. Before, when the cats would come to a door that was closed and put a paw on it, the door would immediately open. But now, that no longer seems to work. If the door is closed, the cat will touch it, and then touch it again, and then begin to scratch at it until somebody opens the door for it. Similarly, if they wish to leave. A great deal of what occupies your day in terms of anything of interest is opening and closing doors for cats. And that goes for everybody.
Is there any other room that hasn't been thoroughly searched?
The only room that has, to my knowledge, nobody has spent much time in is the room that smelled of formaldehyde. That is down here.
Stairs.
Had the two large containers with worm-ridden undead in them.
Yeah, Artem's not going into that room voluntarily.
I'm down with the undead.
I'll say I'd go.
Look around to found glass blowing
Fallen cat.
tools in there after all. There might be something else good in there.
I'm gonna head in there so I can smash the glass blowing tool.
Oh
I already took him.
He took him.
Damn it! No. Okay, so I will I mean, would it be dangerous for my character to be inhaling the formaldehyde, or is it okay?
It only smells of formaldehyde. It would be dangerous to inhale it if you were to unstopper one of these specimen jars and sniff the formaldehyde. Dangerous. Don't do that. Ever.
That's how I investigate specimen jars. So I'm glad I'm glad you got that out of the way.
So
Everybody, don't ever do that.
It's a good tip.
Yeah. Don't mix bleach and ammonia. Don't sniff formaldehyde.
Sorry, Panda. I didn't mean to talk over you there.
No, it's all good. I would have sniffed it, honestly, so I'm kind of glad this came up.
Does the ring of poison resistance require attunement?
Ring of acid resistance. Does it?
Oh, wishful thinking. But
yes.
I mean, is there anything we can? Is there anything that we can wear? Like, I imagine they would have some kind of prepping stuff for going into that room.
Requires attunement. Okay.
Would be like a hazmat suit.
Well, just like a mask, you know.
So again, the room smells of formaldehyde, but that is because of all the specimen jars in it.
So
it is not. It's not like open casks
so it's
of
safe
formaldehyde.
to go in.
At least from the formaldehyde, it appears you have been in it. You have been in it before.
Let's go look around.
Yeah, I will go in with Shane and anyone else who wants to come in. I think Sekmak said as well. I'm very comfortable around the dead. So if you guys aren't, I understand. But just in case something happens, it would be nice to have backup in here.
Well, as long as we...
You pick the two people who are extremely weakened to go with you.
But not frightened of the dead.
No. But maybe we leave, it's sometimes
Luckily,
best to leave the dead as they are, though, so,
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying it's probably not the most pleasant sight.
Okay.
Or we can use
And
them
she-
to our advantage and reawaken if needed.
But see, that's not what I was saying. That's the opposite, really.
A fist
but-
bump segment.
We're the yin and the yang. It's fine.
Yeah, there's two yangs, though. I'm kind of concerned. But all right, let's go.
Interesting. Alrighty.
This is less of a black and white cookie and more of an Oreo. I'm concerned.
I do love Oreos.
Yes. Are we the same
And that's
person?
what did it.
And it's just a little montage of Cordelia and Sekhmet becoming best friends as they're reawakening corpses in like little freeze frames and they're running together.
Music by Danny Elfman, no doubt.
was
Tim
just
Burton
gonna
style
say,
animation.
yes.
So,
Yep.
in you step to this room that is full of bizarre-looking pieces of parts of creatures, organs, limbs, some entire creatures floating in sort of an opaque yellowish fluid. Some small containers, some larger. There's one that's the size of a firkin. Thank you very much for that vocabulary word, Peter. And then, of course, the two very large ones in the center of the room, standing at about 6'1.5" tall, with something clearly inside, roughly humanoid in shape.
And
What
it's
do you do?
sealed off, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Keeps an eye on Shane, like making sure he's like just if he's looking, she's like, oh, yeah, yeah. And if
I
he's
am
not
watching.
looking, she's like,
Just
Are you what are you watching, Shane?
I'm just keeping an eye on them both, making sure everything's okay, and that
Gotcha.
yeah, I would just want to just search around the room. She would be curious as to the bodies to see why they were being preserved or kept or how, for example, the worms are surviving the formaldehyde, so she's very curious about it, but knowing that Shane's got an eye, she'll be focusing on other things for the time being.
Can I
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Sekhmet. Yes.
Can I also search or help her look for
Yeah,
whatever?
I will allow for
information?
2 investigation checks or 1 with advantage. Your choice.
What's your investigation like? I've got a +3.
Well, I don't have any pluses, so
Shall I roll with advantage?
Are you trained in investigation, Sekhmet? You have a... Is the circle next to investigation dark?
no.
I am.
Well then,
Oh no, she can't aid, can she?
she can't.
Well then, could we do 2 separate rolls then?
You may.
Well, I'm gonna need it because I got
Use your
8 in
dice.
total.
Don't forget to use the Kraken dice,
I
friends.
used it and I got an 8.
12.
12. So a very thorough investigation was already done of this room. Vials of acid were found. Other than that, there doesn't appear to be anything other than strange alchemical... Empty, definitely a lot of empty specimen jars. And of the specimens themselves, very little that sparks you as being interested unless you are interested in this sort of thing. Cordelia, there is an obvious answer to why the worms don't appear to have been affected by the formaldehyde. They are probably undead.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, Cordelia's kind of fangirling, but trying to be cool and edgy at the same time. She's like looking at them, keeping an
And so
eye.
as you come close, the body is floating there, and it kind of mouth opens, and you see these worms sort of come out and swarm around the head, creating little eddies in the fluid inside. And you see them almost sort of form almost like a flock of birds as they flow and move inside this thing and start to try and come towards you before moving up against the side of the glass and then going back inside the body.
Sorry, I'm currently being attacked by my cat who thinks the hoodie string is really interesting. Cordelia is watching in almost like almost as if she's just seen the most attractive person on the planet. Like she is just like watching in complete like just absolutely blown away by what's happening. And it just goes back in as if it's like it almost like it put on a show and then went back inside.
That would be one way to describe it, I suppose.
That's how she feels like it's putting on a show for her.
Definitely, putting on a show. Let's roll with that. But I will allow you to make a religion check if you wish, Cordelia.
To woo me? Stop it. All right. Yeah, I will roll. Bloop. Natural 20!
Woo!
The Kraken crit! The Kraken crit!
Congratulations.
Nice.
That's 23 in total.
In the deepest and most dark, the most profound and evil religious texts that you have been able to get your hands on, they speak of a being known as Orcus, a demon, a god, a creature of unfathomable power and malice. He had a priest known as Kyuss, Kyuss, and he had a particular interest in creating and commanding undead that could pass on this quality of undeath to others that it killed, which in the same way a vampire might, except far more virulent and corrupting.
Romantic and enchanting, actually.
You are positive that these creatures are what is known as the spawn of Kus.
So this is incredibly dangerous. Like if this was to get out, it could essentially start like a zombie kind of thing going on.
There are many reasons why this could be dangerous, but certainly that is one of them.
Okay. And there is a cover on this, so it's like trapped, right?
You are not an expert on such things. You may make a perception check to see whether or not you can detect any flaws.
Okay, we'll try. 15, so plus 3, so 18.
These containers appear to be very well made and intact. However, with an 18, you look at them and then your attention goes beyond them. And you blink your eyes and then look again. It appears, just for a moment, that this dark stone wall, which is what makes up the walls and floors of this lower level, you can see through it into the gray mist beyond. And then it resolidifies. And it's now just a wall. But for a brief moment, you could see through it as if it wasn't even there.
I'll approach and see if I can feel the wall, like if it's actually there.
You put your hand on it, and it is a stone
It's
wall.
solid.
You feel it. And as you do, you move your hands along it, and then there's another. And your hand goes through. And
Do you see
for a
this? Do you
moment,
see this?
you see your hand
Cordy.
sticking through the wall, and then you feel the wall beginning to solidify around your hand. You're in danger of
Cordy,
being
pull it
trapped.
back.
Can I pull it back?
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, goodness. 14 flat. I don't have any proficiency.
14 is enough, and you're able to bring your hand back as the wall resolidifies.
Okay. Good news. And she will relay the information about Orcus and Kiss and the bodies. It's well made. We seem, but that wall. There's something beyond it.
If you will look in Roll20 chat, everyone, you can see the spawn of Kiss.
Is it?
Where?
Oh, wow.
Can you remind me what I click again to show everybody this?
If you have an image up, if you have an image select, you can do Shift Z. But
Shift Z, is that it?
If there's there has to be an image on that.
I see. Yeah.
That is straight up creepy.
Why can't I see this? What the heck?
That's
Oh,
probably-
it's in the chat thing.
It's in the
I
chat.
see.
Yeah. So
Oh, I hate that.
Right? It's
I
very,
mean,
like,
I love it.
Cthulhu cousin.
did the passage that she found open up just into the Astral Sea, or into
It
another
did not
room?
appear to be a passage. It appeared to be actually the wall phasing out of existence and then rephasing.
Right, but into the Astral Sea.
Just into the Astral Sea.
Okay. Cordy, based on what you've said, I think that these things need to be destroyed.
Well, they're sealed for a reason. Why?
Well,
Why-
how powerful are they?
Well, I'm not sure, but if it could spread this disease, if you will, to something else.
Right.
The thing is why did they keep them and not kill them? There must be a reason. Whether it be they're powerful or I don't know. Maybe they're trying to figure out a way to cure it for all we know. That's a question. Looking around, I'm not a scientist or anything, so I probably wouldn't be able to actually determine anything from this. But from what I can see around, does this seem more like a kind of almost like a funeral care, like they're just taking care of like the parts, or is it more of a like a laboratory, like you said, like where it seems like they're experimenting?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay, I'll give it my best.
Can I assist her on the Arcana?
Are you trained in Arcana?
Yeah.
You may assist.
I got a 12. Do I roll again, or do you want to roll segment?
She did say she was assisting, so that is an advantage to you.
Okay. That's even worse. 3 plus, where is it again? 3, so that's 6. So the highest I got was 11.
I got a 5.
All right. So when you assist Sekhmet, you can't roll yourself. You're essentially giving advantage to somebody else.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know how it worked.
Now you do.
Okay.
But
Oh, she rolls. Okay.
you can't. I mean, there would perhaps be an intrinsic value to some of these. Perhaps they're useful as components and spells. Maybe they're just curiosities and trophies. You see
It
one or
makes-
two,
yeah.
which would look really cool in sort of a dark, broody kind of library or meditation chamber.
I mean, that's where Cordelia's head would be at, anyways, because she finds this fascinating. So she sees the yeah. I mean, is it? I don't know. Do you really want to bring these things out?
No.
I don't think it's wise.
I don't
Maybe
think
not
it
in
is
our current
wise.
state. If they're latent, that's okay. It's just that these. But before we leave, we shouldn't just leave this for someone else to unleash accidentally or purposefully, right? It doesn't seem like any of the stuff here is done with an intent to protect or to safeguard. I mean, does it to you? Just the feel of it is not that way.
I don't think so.
Right. So
I'm not convinced they could find their way out of a realm, though. So if we do find a way out, I'm confident. I feel like they could still be trapped. We could either reinforce they're still here, or make
or
sure they're not
destroy them is the
found
sure
and-
way. Right?
ever again to be used. Unless
Yeah.
somebody else happens to come upon us, then we could use them to our advantage.
Well,
Or I
that
could
I'm not
try
so
and-
sure of. I mean,
Or I could try and attack it while it's in the container.
Can you do that without opening the container?
I don't know.
maybe not just while the three of us are here, though, too.
You would leave her alone to fight them without risking her to open the container.
That's it's actually the opposite of what I meant. I
Oh.
meant, yeah. We should make sure that everyone's here, especially in our current situation. Our current.
Well, I think the main focus here is this wall. It's a solid wall, but sometimes it can go through, and there's just this grey mist beyond. I don't know
It's
what's
the outside.
But
But why
is
a
the
wall and
doing
not
that?
a window, right? Do other walls do it?
Maybe it's for disposal of things. You can just.
What if we push
Chuck
the
stuff out there.
containers out there then? What if we put the whole container into the gray and not just the bodies?
I wonder
Well-
if we can borrow the jade dragon again.
And have it go
Maybe.
through the wall?
Yeah.
Either way, I think this is something discussed with everyone, but
No, don't.
to me, leaving it, hiding them, or reinforcing them, or tossing them out into nothingness makes it so they can be found. Maybe years and years from now, but if you say that these are descended from Orcus, you can see his face kind of contort as he says the name, and he kind of swallows deeply, and he's then we shouldn't risk that. We shouldn't risk these things being found by anyone. But
Sekhmet is
again,
meowing.
maybe we
Sekhmet,
have
you
to
can't-
wait and do this later.
Sekhmet, I told you not to let the cats in here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Knock something over.
She's stealing my pizza rolls. I'm sorry.
God, there's another one now. Jeez.
Wait, there are pizza rolls in this mansion?
you have not been able to find any pizza rolls.
So if that's what we found, I think I can at least am contented to return to the group for now.
Indeed. And
Yeah.
you return to the group. As you are returning, you hear in your head,
must travel to Waterdeep for aid. Road long, arduous. Able to advise if needed. Must conserve resources for defense on journey. Am old, slow. Apologies.
And you rejoin the group.
I
Sitting
will
in the study with everyone, and hold that thought there, Shamsiel, as we are going to take our 10-minute break. You all gather in the study.
The gnome's in my head again. He's not very fast, and he sounds really tired. Maybe a little bored, but definitely tired. So it's gonna be a little bit. What do you want? I'll tell him about the cipher and about the spawns of, what was its name, Cordy?
Yes.
What were the
Wait.
names?
Wait,
Spawns of what?
Wait, are we talking about the bodies with the things?
Yeah, the worm guys.
Yeah, that Orcus Kiss's priest.
Kiss, right?
Priest guy?
Yeah, I got it. All right, spawns of Kiss.
I swear you never listen to me.
He even called you Cordy again.
He did.
We all heard it.
Sometimes
This close, Shane.
I did see a rock out in the mist. That's my report.
A rock?
There was also a wall that we can go through.
There's that too.
Oh.
They're a hand in the mist as well.
How did Zelmira get food and we didn't?
Zelmira's like, huh? No.
Nope, no food here. Look away.
Did she eat all the rations?
Her brother.
We're on
The
half
growing girl.
rations. We're half rations and you're eating them all.
The growing girl.
Anyone have prestidigitation and we can, or minor illusion, we can make it look like worms. Oh no!
Ew.
So that's what I got. That's what I'm gonna send.
Does anybody have anything they wish to do in regards to any of the information that has come to light in this day?
Yeah, I want to wait for everyone and go back down and check this wall out.
All right. So as you're moving, now that you know what to look for, Belitis, with your passive perception, you begin to see occasionally out of the corner of your eye, just like maybe sections about 2 to 3 square feet wide, just fading and then solidifying. As you're going down the steps, you're going and you look down at one of the steps, it disappears, and you stop your foot, step over it, and look back, and it solidifies.
I turn around to the group and say, this whole place is going to disappear soon.
That's gonna be a problem.
Oh, yes. We'll all be dead.
So this is all. Is the spell wearing out?
Well, the doors don't open for the cats anymore.
It explains why the chains fell when Cordy was looking at the books.
Yeah, they were exceptionally weaker.
Yeah. It didn't have strength to hold itself.
What do you think happens when the time runs out?
Well, death takes us all.
Well, I always imagined little things gobbling up the remaining illusions as they passed into the ether. But
As long as Belitis and I don't go first, we can at least revive a couple of you.
Oh no, it will be Shamsil first. I'll give him a wink. I'm joking, of course.
yeah, it kind of feels like it.
We'll be fine.
I is there anything we could make? Do we have anything here that isn't going to disappear, that was not part of this spell, that we can use or something like that?
I've read through her notes. If there's anything that's beyond my abilities,
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. Like, what about this spell? What does all of this disappear, or just what she brought into being through the spell?
Let's keep our eyes out for other walls and see if there's anything that doesn't feel like it's being affected, but I'm not optimistic, Shane.
So with the spell, she could conjure the books and all of it. Okay.
With this grim realization, you all, once again, eating your rations and your various things that you're able to conjure with magic. Again, those of you who have the ability, if you wish to make use of it, make sure you mark, prepare the spells and then mark off the spell slot.
We haven't slept yet, though, have we?
No, you haven't. But once again, you all are able to find areas that you wish to claim as your sleeping area, if you wish to spread out again, or do you wish to stay together?
I bring a cat with me this time.
So Mira's gonna do whatever her brother does.
I think we should stay close this time. If the floors and the walls are starting to give out, we might need to jump after someone.
Spends a good time of the night praying to Ra.
What do you pray, Sekhmet?
Oh, jeez. That's a good question, isn't it?
Are you praying for guidance? Are you praying for something specific, for mercy?
Yeah, guidance and protection.
You say that you were praying to Ra? Nice.
So you do spend the night, portion of the night praying. Where do you decide to gather? Do you have a location that you all wish to be together?
Not in the basement.
Okay.
Well, so would we be able to pick a place that that's really centralized, so if one of the walls kind of gave out, we'd still be in the mansion?
What about, like, the bear rug room? That's where the books are and the steps to downstairs are, so if, like...
It's the most central core of the mansion.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
And if something happened with the bodies downstairs, we might be able to hear it if we're near the downstairs.
I think that's a good idea. We can bring some extra chairs and blankets and stuff.
Should we take night shifts?
Artem is gonna go to the Arboretum and he's gonna try to coax the dragon. All right, so he'll go,
Hey guys, I think your mistress's magic is weakening. Have you tried to leave?
Well, not recently.
Just try.
Oh, no. Still working.
Okay, sorry.
What do you mean it's weakening?
The walls are, disappearing. Some of her enchantments on the chained books, those are, that stopped working. Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe we will eventually be able to come in. Yeah. Oh, it feels like the wrong thing. We're being punished. We should stay out here until we're not being punished anymore.
I think I can absolve you of punishment on her behalf. I don't know if you can come in, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're just reshuffling books, you're forgiven.
Between you and me, I thought it was a pretty harsh sentence. I mean, the amount of time we've been out here, I was thinking like a day max. But
yeah, I don't think she intended to keep you out here as long as you've been.
Make a persuasion check, Artem.
17 plus 1, 18.
18. All right. You remember thinking, or Belitis has discussed with you and some of your other roles about the nature of the astral plane, how the way you think, what you think is real, and how you orient yourself and that sort of thing tends to have a little bit more gravity here than on the prime material. And you tell them that their punishment is over. And you see them both kind of look at each other and begin to nod and say,
Right. Okay. Oh, you have to come back inside. Okay, here we go.
and they link tails and fly and pop through the window. And they are now in the dining room.
Hey, we did it. We're in. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Hello. Hi. Wow. I don't think we ever met all of you. I'm Ashen Mal, and this is Ashen Bond.
Welcome inside.
So, what do you all do for fun?
At the moment, we're just trying to figure out how to not, die.
Oh, well, I might be able to help with that.
Do tell?
Ashen Mal says that. Ashen Bond looks at him and looks at you all and says,
He can't help you.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You're kind of a liar, aren't you?
No. Yes.
There, another lie.
I like the high-pitched one.
My name is Ashen Bond. What is your name?
Cordelia.
How do you do?
I'm Shamsiel, but most people call me Shane.
How do you do?
I am Sekhmet.
Not a
she
goddess.
says, how do you do? Because she meets all of you one
Do
at a
it
time.
again.
How do you do?
And Ashen, screw you guys.
He's gotta sing, you guys.
Well,
Can I keep
Ashen
her?
Mal, just his eye rolls get more and more pronounced as each one of you come forward and introduce yourselves. Like he says,
All right. I might not be able to help you with problems per se, but I can make you feel better about the problems.
Well, the problems will soon be your problems, because we're all gonna die.
Nah.
Look, I appreciate your very special skill set, but it's not really good for you in the long term.
Do you two live here?
Well, currently, yes.
Do you have a clue what's going on in the basement?
No.
Because Belitis was saying about us all being dead. The thing is fading.
The thing being the mansion. Have you experienced this before?
Oh, that doesn't sound good. It'll be fine.
Would you like to see it?
Nah.
Hmm.
All right.
No, you precious cinnamon roll, you stay here. I was mainly talking to your companion.
Hey.
You the one who doesn't believe we're in danger.
I want to be called Cinnamon Roll.
Well then act better.
Mm,
That's not very cinnamon roll behavior, is it?
his eyes narrow and he shoots out a gust of breath at you, which you see coming a mile away are unable to step out of the way without any trouble.
I'll remember that.
Consent.
And you see Ashen Bond nodding her head.
Good cinnamon roll, Ashen.
Oh, fuck.
He begins to fly. He flies into the library which has now been somewhat straightened by those of you who have been going through and looking at things. He sort of goes over and begins to knock books off the shelf.
You said you weren't going to do that again. You were sorry.
Oh. Well,
You don't seem very penitent.
are you guys leaving anytime soon?
We're trying to. Is there a way you can help us get out?
I don't think so.
Okay, then we're staying here for the time being.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna be giving Ashen pets if she lets me.
They're both Ashen, so Ashen Bon and Ashen Mal.
Oh, sorry.
Bon and Mal.
Which is amazing.
Which one's
so-
the nice one?
Bon.
All right, I'll be petting Bon.
She is very appreciative of your attention.
Oh my god, sorry, I just saw the cinnamon roll dragon.
Does anybody have anything they wish to do for the rest of this day?
I'm going to follow Maul around to make sure that he doesn't cause any destruction.
Oh, he doesn't like that at all. He tries to breathe on you a couple of times. He tries very hard to make it look like he's not doing it on purpose. Just sort of like, achoo! And a burst of breath comes out. Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
If he does that every time, it's very obvious, and Zelmira dodges out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not hard to dodge.
Yeah,
I watch around for like places that sort of like shifted in and out of existence and hope that they may show something like a secret door behind it or something.
Well, I don't seem to show any secret doors. However, your hopes seem to be justified in that the only areas that seem to be consistently fading tend to be more on the outside areas of the mansion. Centrally located, things seem to be more or less intact.
I would like to start reading the books and trying to see if I can find anything. If I can read them, to try and see if there's a way that I can help Shane and Sekhmet with their ailments.
So it is obvious to you after a little while looking at the books that are chained, you are able to easily remove them from the chains.
Yeah.
These are all arcane spells of which you have no knowledge or training. If you are going to be able to help them, it's going to be with the help of divine power. Quite a large amount of it, in fact.
I will take to some prayers. Because that's all she can think of doing, really. Yeah, she will do such a thing. I can't use like channel divinity or anything like that. It's for mine is to fuels magical effects or touch of death. So
yeah,
you know, it's the
Not
opposite
helpful.
of what we want. It's quite the opposite. So
Right.
she will just be praying that there's something or some asking for guidance of herself to just try and help and help them or find something.
All right.
I'm gonna ask Belitis. The likelihood of something happening to me, of being practically immortal, like I can't imagine death would actually be knocking at my door, but it just in case, would you ever reanimate me in case something did happen?
Oh, I'd be honored. That's a yes.
Bolitas, do you have an answer?
Is it just? I was gonna say, is
You're
it
muted?
He's talking. Is it just me?
I'm
Sorry.
not on my end. Hang on.
You're here now.
You're unmuted
We
now.
can hear you. We can hear you.
You're good now.
muted
I don't
before.
know what's going on. My OBS was working. He says he'd be honoured. I don't know what's going on.
All right. So you all find a chair or a rug or just your own clothing and packs turned into some sort of bedding. For that matter, you can bring down some of the bedding that is on the actual bed upstairs. and you create a little area for yourself here in the study, in the kitchen, this sort of area, and begin to sleep. After approximately 8 hours, you wake. And this day is much like the day before, with one notable exception. As you are making the breakfast this day, Artem, only 4 bowls.
I was going to ask if the cats were still getting fed. Now I know.
Is there, before the cats arrive to feed out of the bowls, I'm going to take a small portion from each to create a 5th meal for the cat whose bowl is omitted.
The 5th cat never appears.
Oh.
And you are able to determine that it is the white cat.
Sort of a morbid but effective countdown, maybe.
Poor kitty.
Does that mean we have 4 days left? 4 hours?
4 seconds.
3, 2.
Do something! Do something!
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
I roll a
4
9.
years, 4 months,
Also,
4 centuries.
if at any point today you venture upstairs or you venture downstairs, as you come to the top, you feel odd, almost as if there's more space between the final step and the landing, or the final step and the landing at the bottom. And you feel like you're floating for a moment before you alight on the floor.
All right, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to my attention that I need to swallow my pride and admit that I am not the most intelligent of us all. If one was to put it on a scale of 1 to 20, it would be a 10. Now, is anyone here feeling like we're on the verge at all of cracking what is happening here and how to save this situation? Because I'm starting to feel like we're losing time, and I feel like we're stuck.
I think we're losing more than time. I think you're right. It's the lightness is unbearable. It keeps going and going.
I feel like we've been waiting for help, but we really need to just put our heads together and just focus on getting out of here.
Artem kind of hangs his head, and he's shaking his head vigorously. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm thinking, I'm trying, and you see him wringing his hands, and he's like, this is what I do, and I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
And Zelmira goes to him and puts a hand on his chest and says, this is not your job. You're doing the best you can. We all know that.
Artie, are there any destinations here in this plane? Are there any places?
That's a good question, Sean, but I've known that with my earlier Arcana rolls.
Astral plane is a plane of existence that touches the prime material, and you can reach other planes from it. But again, you need magic, or an artifact, or some means that you do not have at your disposal. You did roll very high. You have heard tales of large vessels that actually traverse the astral plane. But that seems like fantasy. This is reality. Sorry. Yes.
Those things aren't my jam.
No.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Hey!
By the end of this day, it is apparent to all of you that indeed the magic that has sustained Festandia's mansion in the extra-dimensional space does not seem to be compatible with the Astral Sea, and is slowly breaking down. By the end of the day, the top floor and the bottom floor are actually physically detached from the main floor. And you are at the about midpoint of the steps of either way, able to see the Astral Sea sort of around a plane of view between this, the first floor, the second floor, and the first floor and the bottom floor.
We're all on the same floor, right?
You're all on the same floor, and in point of fact, you can still move to the top floor and the bottom floor, much like a, for want of a better term, a space station breaking down in space. The various pieces continue to move together unless something causes them to move in a different direction. So
Inertia.
indeed.
For the record, I have taken the spell books from the chained room and brought them down.
So there's a dozen of them.
Yeah.
So you have a stack of a dozen books.
Yep.
I was going to say, and Cordelia feeling rather dumb is just going to be making her uses elsewhere, and she's going to be anything that we could potentially use, whether it even could be a potential spell component or something that just looks interesting. She will be moving stuff from the top and bottom floors kind of closer to the center, so that it doesn't get lost into like the abyss, if you will.
It's disconcerting at first, but when you get to the top of the steps and you realize if you just think moving wherever you have a desire to go, you begin to move slowly in that direction at half your speed.
She will also be tying herself to the doors so that she, just in case, won't go away. Like in worst case, she can always pull herself back if something was to happen.
Cordelia, make a since you are going around and having this sort of busying yourself with looking around, make a perception check.
17 on the dice. Perception, +3, so a dirty 20.
The dirty 20. So everywhere you look, if you stare long enough, you are able to see places sort of phasing out of existence, and there's some places now that have completely phased and do not return. However, as best you can tell, the physical objects within the rooms themselves seem to be not fading away. It is only the walls, paintings, rugs, decorations, the tables, the chairs, the books, some of the utensils in the room, in the pantry, the glass blowing tools that Shamsiel has. They are not going anywhere. They are not fading.
Are they falling, or are they just staying in place?
Well, if you take... So, again, on the top floor, towards the end of the day, you come into the master bedroom suite, looking around again, and you see that most of the floor has now completely vanished, and you're able to look down after about a 6-foot space into the dining room below it, and the bed is just floating there, moving with the same speed. If you are in fact moving at all, it is difficult to tell. For all you know, everything that you are in is tumbling end over end, but with nothing to look out and orient yourself, it's very difficult to say. And as long as you think of floor as being down and the ceiling as being up, that is how you tend to orient yourself. But whenever you float through the Astral Sea, you have the strangest sensation that if you were to concentrate hard enough, you might be able to reorient yourself with the floor being the ceiling and the ceiling being the floor, should you wish.
She would try so, just trying to find like a little bit of enjoyment, like when, like almost like dancing when no one's looking. She's gonna like make sure no one can see her, trying to have like a good time, and is gonna give it a go, and will actually shout down to the others. One of the bathrooms is gone. That's one down. So.
Oh man.
What about the?
Yeah, how does plumbing work in the Astral Sea?
Chamber pots are just floating away into the
just
sea.
Please, like,
no! We need that!
make sure to keep them close.
Cordy,
Oh, we weren't supposed to use the garden.
Human
is the
fertilizer.
furniture is the
Cleaning
furniture
up
still
cat
there?
poop. The furniture's still here, but the walls and the floors have gone.
I think I think everything's dissolving away, but maybe what she brought in here. So we might, if we can build a room with what's in here, it might last us for a while and we won't all drift apart. We just need to kind of like build our own room using what's inside here.
I think that's a great idea.
That's what I meant before when I was asking about the spell dissolving and what she created versus what's here. I don't know if there's a way to tell the difference. We can use what won't dissolve and create a boat for the Astral Sea. We can build a raft.
Cordelia, hearing this and thinking it's very smart, will begin to bring down bed. I imagine they're kind of weightless in the Astral Sea until you begin to get to the lower levels, where the kind of goes back to normal. But she will start bringing larger pieces of furniture down in an attempt to sort of make, like you said, just get the parts to make a barricade room.
Shane will help and just spend the next bit of time trying to move as much solid material as possible to the center
really
area.
Be resting. Are you sure you're okay to do this?
It's fine. I can do this.
And I have a question about
Zelmira.
the astral plane. So is this like a spacewalk situation where
Very similar.
Yeah,
Very
we
similar.
don't have protective things that it could be inhospitable to us to be out there for too long?
Breathe, right?
Yeah, your impression is that whatever was in this purple miasma that was here before that seemed to be harmful to you is not present here in the Astral Sea. This is...
Okay. This is different.
And you can breathe.
Ah, interesting.
the-
So Zelmira goes out to also help.
What are the tables made of from the in the laboratories?
They are made of cherry wood.
Okay. Artem is going to start creating a frame.
Also, needless to say, the dining room table is not there anymore, having been slain.
What about
It's still on Zelmira's clothes, but
Zelmira looks down, is very defeated.
it's kind of like, a creepy tie-dye, right?
But do I look like someone who wears creepy tie-dye, Shane?
You don't look like someone who wears regular tie-dye. Creepy tie-dye can be kind of,
I'll take it into consideration.
I would love somebody to describe to me what creepy tie-dye looks like.
Yes. Shane, what are you seeing from your eyes?
It's tie-dye, right? It's randomized stains on something white that is clearly biological in nature.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
I feel like I know exactly what that is. Those paintings where they're like, "What do you see?" Where it's just black and white. And it's just the Rorschach things. That's what creepy tie-dye is.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But it's biological material.
Yeah.
That's what makes it creepy.
Zelmira, when I look at your clothing, I see victory.
Oh my god, wow. Zelmira looks down and sees defeat.
And the spleen and leg.
Defeat and the spleen.
And that actually looks like a fingernail, but
That's worse than a spleen somehow.
It's
As
more
you are
relatable.
going about this gathering of the materials and looking around and thinking about how you could maybe lash them together to create some sort of raft in the Astral Sea, there is a loud crack from below.
Yeah. So, question: is the bottom half separated from the house, or just the top half?
The bottom half is separated from the house.
So I was gonna ask, are the glass enclosures in the basement imaginary too?
Well, based on the sound you just heard,
I waited too
probably
long.
not. However, they do seem to have come detached from the floor and they are banging into things as the worms inside them seem to be willing the creatures in the things to move and the containers along with them. Just
We need to deal with this.
Now.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Pillows and tape. Pillows and tape.
I say I know we probably shouldn't. Oh, I don't. I'm really worried about, kind of breaking them.
I think they're already breaking.
Okay, looking at the glass, DM, is it something that is heat resistant?
It's difficult to tell just by looking at it. However, there's a lot of formaldehyde in here. Formaldehyde is extremely flammable. Difficult to say what lighting a fire in this room would do to the mansion, especially now that parts of it seem to be compromised.
Okay, bad idea. Sounded good to the
It's a great idea. in
dumb
my
player.
opinion.
Just say we punt it into the Astral Sea. Just kick it overboard.
I know.
Eat it right in there.
We could. Artie, do you have any experience setting a fuse?
Well, we'd have to kind of break the encasement just to get the fuse in, and that would mean.
But what about if other stuff exploded around it? It would break the glass, and then that would explode, right?
Is Artem comfortable with this idea, Sean?
I mean,
scientifically,
if you all can come up with a way to do it, it is certainly be an effective way of dealing with the current problem. However,
sorry.
I mean, it would be a spectacular explosion, and there's no telling what the fallout of such a thing would be, as far as this slowly disintegrating structure that is your only refuge here in the Astral Sea.
What about lightning? Is that a good enough explosion?
Probably would also
I have sacred
turn-
flame.
I have lightning.
what were you going to say? It would probably what, Sean?
probably also cause a fire. A lightning spark, an electrical spark would a fuel source such as formaldehyde would certainly be ignited by electricity as much as fire.
What about a guiding bolt?
What if we cast lightning out in the astral field? With them, like, what if we put them out there and then blow them up?
That's what I was saying. We could
Right.
we could jettison them.
Don't blow them up in the house.
Where did I
We
get
need the
that word?
house.
I don't know that's. Wow.
It's a good word.
I've been really bored, so I've been listening to Artie a lot. But
Shane, you're so smart.
thanks. Yeah, we could. I mean, if we pack all the explosive stuff into a room and then sort of kick it off and let it float, and then float off and off into the ether, and it explodes, then might take care of it.
Let's do it.
On the there's this really awful tactic used by some of the worst demons and devils that I've heard about, that for plague and stuff, where you put a lot of stuff very infected in one thing and then explode it, and it doesn't really destroy any of it, it just spreads it everywhere.
That sounds like the worst thing we could do, right?
It's a really dirty tactic, but
But if we're not sure how things,
but that's what I'm saying. We might accidentally do that if these worms survive, or if this thing is strong enough and we just blow it into a million pieces. Those might be a million little bits of the will of Orcus that get scattered around the plane to slowly find their way into whatever
They could
else happens
find
to
new
be here.
hosts. And then we could have an army on our hands of these
No.
things.
Exactly. I think it might be a little too clumsy. Maybe something more precise. I like precision. If you don't clip the edge of a bottle just the right way at just the right temperature, if you twist at the wrong speed and don't don't clench the pincers, you can just shatter the whole thing. But You see, the thing is, when it's just not glowing anymore, you have to apply pressure just as far as it goes and twist and twist and twist around. And just, it's like, somebody stop me. It's
I was like,
wow.
You just keep fascinated to see where this is going
I
to
was
go.
impressed with this research.
I'm
I
not
was
going to stop him.
No, I wanted to hear it.
I was waiting for Cordelia to be like, oh my god, I can't listen to this anymore. So instead, Zelmira will walk over.
She just
Shane on the back.
zoned out at the mention, just went someplace else, just was like, nope, not
So-
You
today.
just have to feel out that
being-
breaking point. It has to
Zelmira
be so
walks
precise.
over, puts a hand on his back, and says, "You've clearly done a lot of homework, Shane. Thank you for that illuminating monologue."
So I've heard some ideas and some suggestions.
It's
clear to you all.
blowing.
That is clear to you all. This is a problem. This is an imminent problem. What is your plan?
Kill it.
Great.
Hope
How
the
will you
house
go about this?
separates
Good
far
plan.
enough that we don't have to worry about it anymore.
All right. So that's one for immediate action and one for mañana.
Use Shane's glass blowing sermon to bore them to death.
Honestly, could work.
Too late.
Could work.
This is his
Already
remote-
dead.
Shane loses his remaining 18 max hit points and dies before you.
The vicious mockery was strong on this one.
It's too much.
No,
Just a question.
Go ahead.
With this, I know this is kind of meta, but like, would it class as one target or lots of little ones because it's worms? How would this
Only
work?
one way to determine that.
Depends
Okay.
on how we go about it, I guess. Is there a way to like contain it so when we explode it, it doesn't explode outwardly but stays blown up in its container?
We could also not explode it.
See, I'm just thinking
Fair.
of using Toll the Dead.
Try it.
You should do that repeatedly.
That's what I'm thinking. Is just
Just
spouting
start
Toll
right
the
now,
Dead.
and we can finish the plan later. Just start doing it.
Not a bad idea.
I mean, if told to do so, I will point at the creature.
Hold.
Told.
Do
Yeah.
it.
DOLL''D.
Yeah.
Jade, I think we need to do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do
It's my
it.
favorite
Time to
thing.
get
I love
cold.
it so much. Yeah.
Shane,
All right.
Shane has been having a perfectly normal conversation and then suddenly looks over and says, "Have you heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise?"
Oh, shit.
We're at an opera, guys.
Oh God.
I'm gonna start tolling the dead to drown out Shane's
All right. So roll
talking glass throwing.
Toll the Dead damage.
Poor
Okay,
sweet
so
Shane.
it's 2d8.
At least I inspired people to action.
You did, buddy.
But it depends if it has it got any missing hit points? Is
No,
that-
you're not going to do the d12s. Do the d8s.
Okay.
Which one do you target? The one to the north or to the south?
The one furthest away from the exit.
As far as I know, you are all somewhat there, and you are also. We'll get to that. So you rolled your damage there. I have
bless her?
failed
Has she
my
done it already?
failed the wisdom. Would not affect this.
Okay.
Fails the wisdom save, and as it takes the damage, you see swirling around inside this container, the worms just moving around in fury, and as it begins to crack, and a huge deluge of chemicals and foul-smelling formaldehyde just pours out into this room as the one behind it, incensed by this attack, also somehow sensing it, breaks, and we will roll initiative.
If they could have done that, why didn't they do that the whole time? Like, why didn't they
No
break
one
out?
attacked them.
Maybe they were friends, like I thought. It put on a show for me and I heard it. Now I feel like an asshole.
You don't want those kind of friends.
Remember, you need to put yourself
Cordy.
on the board.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before you're going to be able to.
Ooh, there's sounds in this.
Yeah.
I rolled a
Obviously, this is the room where they are. However, you need not put yourselves in the room, as there is plenty of space between this floor and the top floor. You can put yourself oriented around this room however you wish. Obviously, going too far to the south will be a problem because we'll run out of map. You can't put yourself way up there, Artem. You gotta make it.
I was just dragging myself onto the board. That's
Okay.
all.
Hey, DM.
Yes.
Instead
You were
of
already on the board.
Selecting my token, I accidentally pinged it. So I rolled a 19. Do you want me to just roll
No, I'll
again?
take care of it. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't see your token. Where is it? Oh, I see it. There it
It's
is.
next to Shane.
Mine has
Is it?
disappeared.
My original initiative was 14, but I then re-rolled with my token selected.
All right.
So, also, I don't... What can we see versus not, and could we be up on the second floor, kinda?
All right, I got a lot of questions here.
Please, all at once.
So, first of all, Zelmira, you said you had a 19?
Yes.
All right. Cordelia, what did you have?
Before we start, though,
14.
we've got
14.
a 300-bit the donation by Dead Inside 620. Thank you very, very much. So
That's exactly
right.
Someone
Very
gets a D6
All right, Dead
inspiration.
Inside. Okay.
Here we go. Who gets it?
Oh, it's a three-way roll-off.
Ooh, roll again.
We roll off, the DM included. So I and Bolitas and Cordelia
Should we just
will
roll
all roll a
flat
d20
D20s?
to see.
No, not me. Artem.
Me.
Sorry, yes.
Ooh, clutch,
Ooh.
Cordy.
Oh, no.
Cordelia.
Oh, Cordelia!
Very nice, Cordelia. You
Cordelia
have
comes
won
in.
a D6 inspiration thanks to our generous donation.
Thank you very much, Dead Inside. Much appreciated.
Alrighty.
And I need my initiative put on there as well. Sorry, Sean.
Okay. What was it, Artem?
21.
21. Okay. Descending. Bear with me for a moment, please. Okay. At the top of the order, we have Artem with a 21.
Artem is going to let his ring finger retract, and he's going to spray a phosphorus powder all over them, casting fairy fire.
Fairy fire. All right, so we've got a couple of deck saves going here.
I had a 22, but I'm not on the board.
Oh no!
I can fix that.
Then
I
you
think
go first.
I pulled my token out, I think, after I rolled. Is that why?
Yes.
Oh, that's why. Sorry about that.
SEKH, right?
Yes.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I muted myself right when I said yes.
And second, what did you roll?
22.
22. So, in that case, you go first. But Artem, we're gonna go ahead and do your turn first, since you've already rolled. Blue has rolled a natural 14, and red has rolled a 7.
They both fail.
They both fail, so they are both illumined with fairy fire. And you are concentrating.
Yes.
I like an illumined target.
Like it from a distance, you 18 hit point fucker.
All right,
Just-
so that's Artem. Artem, do you have a bonus action or a movement that you wish to do?
Homuncule Jade will do a force attack on the one to the south.
Okay.
And so many buttons to get there. There it is. Bam. That is a 21 to hit.
That is a hit.
For 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Don't forget, for those of you making melee or ranged attacks, these are going to be at advantage.
All right.
You can go ahead and crit fish there, Artem, if you wish.
No, it didn't crit, but
Okay.
go ahead.
So now we'll... Sekhmet, you would normally have gone first, so now you will go.
Okay. Let's
Look at all these high initiative rolls. My goodness.
twin
We're ready.
spell lightning bolt on them.
Okay.
So let's do. They roll a dex save. Is that how am I reading this
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I'm working on it now.
Okay, sorry. There was silence and I wasn't sure if that was on my end.
It's things are slow here with my ancient laptop, which I'm forced to use
No, it's
while I'm on the
fine.
road. There it is. Okay, I have a 11 and a 16.
Okay, the 11 fails.
So that's blue,
Sure.
and 16
Is red.
succeeds. So
But I
it'll
think
take
it
half.
still gets half. Okay.
Yep.
And then I roll. I do this. 8d. Is that what I?
28. Very good. Sekhmet, roll
an
me a
explosion?
D100.
Oh.
We talked about the formaldehyde.
And lighting them on fire.
I need to. Hang on.
Roll low.
Uh-oh. That's not what we wanted.
Okay.
No, it is. She rolled low.
Yep, she
I
rolled.
was gonna
low.
say, someone told me to roll up.
Sean has low chances roll low, so
For a second, I thought you
That-
said Frollo, like the guy from Hunchback of Notre Dame. I was like, Frollo?
Hellfire!
So
Now, Gypsy, it's your turn.
these two bolts of electricity go coming out, and as they do, you see this formaldehyde that is not staying put on the ground and floating in the air as sort of large globules of liquid moving in and out of the battlefield. You see a couple of them burst into flame, but no large ones ignite, and you don't seem to have incurred any extra damage due to any sort of large formaldehyde explosion. However, you feel pretty lucky. Anything else, Cordelia? Movement or bonus action?
Sekhmet.
Sekhmet, I do apologize.
I don't think so. I don't think I can do anything else.
Alrighty. Shamsil, it is to your turn.
Great. Looks like that one's taken some damage, so I am going to fire some shots at blue.
Alrighty.
Very good. So let's start. I will use my sharpshooter, so he is going to pull the bow back to almost a reckless level and do so. So, by the way, are these walls kind of dissolving so we can just kind of be wherever? How does this?
In
How is this
some
working?
cases, they are intact. However, the fact that you can move up and over them, and in some cases see through them, we will say that the walls are non-present.
Okay.
The map is there mostly just to gives you something to
Understood.
have there.
First attack is an 18.
On blue or red?
Blue.
Blue is a hit.
Beautiful. Second, I have blanks. Do I want to use? Yes. I will use a bit of extra precision at the last moment on that one. Aim a bit closer. Stay steady my hand. And does a 16 do it?
A 16 does hit. So that's 2 hits. So what is the damage on blue?
Okay. After that, I've got 39.
Jeez. This arrow goes right through it, taking with it a large chunk of internal organs, and you could see these worms sort of flying out. They don't appear to be moving, appear to be dead.
Oh, that's good. I action surge.
All right.
Before you do that, sorry, just quickly, because someone's got to leave. Massive thank you to Dwarf, who's just dropped 1,500 bits for 3D20s.
Wow.
So
Oh my
thank you very
gosh.
much, Dwarf, and
Thank you indeed.
Thank you.
see you soon, mate. I'll speak to you soon. So.
Have a good night, brother.
So that's going to be a
pretty
one
clear.
to me, one to Cordelia, and one to Zelmira.
Yeah, nice one. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm surging. And we'll do, let's see, 2 more shots.
Okay.
24 to hit.
That is a hit.
Should I separate targets or am I?
No.
Okay. And we'll use. I can. Well, let's see. Can I use? Can I use more than one? When
Yeah,
I hit? Yep. I can
So I think they work like
I'm gonna
key
do it.
points. Yeah.
Give it a try. Ah, crap. 14.
14's a hit.
Okay. 2 more strikes for 43 more points of damage.
So you see this one just absolutely riddled with arrows, and the worms inside of it, as the body itself begins to sort of disintegrate from the damage it's taken, the worms roil around in form of a sort of a humanoid shape before they begin to sort of go limp and spread in this room, just a cloud of worms unmoving. That is the end of that one.
All right, I'm going to just tarry back behind everyone else because they told me to be careful.
Alrighty. That's going to bring us to Zelmira.
Okay, Zelmira will use her water whip, to attack the one that is still a complete pile of worms.
Okay.
So, let me see. Water whip.
Alrighty.
18.
I am going to
Or-
use my D20 inspiration on this.
Nice. Love that.
However, the highest I have is an 11.
I do love that.
All right, and so I will actually, if I can still do this, DM, expend another key point to do an additional 1d10 of damage.
You certainly can.
All right.
And the water whip, I believe, allows you to make it prone if you wish.
Yep, I can either knock it prone or pull it 25 feet closer, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to knock it prone.
All right, prone it goes, just landing on the ground. The astral plane notwithstanding, there's enough collective understanding of down and up here that you are definitely able to bring it prone.
Awesome. And so that is a total of 20 damage for me.
Total of 20 damage. Got it. Looking
And
pretty rough. Will it get a turn?
Very badass.
do I also get a second action?
You do. You have a second attack as a 6th level monk.
Awesome. So I would like to throw some darts at it, because why not?
Why not? Go for it.
Alrighty. All right,
a hit.
16. So
You also
it's-
have its advantage.
Yeah. So
Oh,
go ahead and
nice.
crit fish there to see if you crit.
all
with your-
right, and I do not.
Okay. So 5 points of piercing damage. Got it.
Cool. Also, these sounds. I've been playing a lot of Left 4 Dead. It just sounds like
What?
the
Really?
zombie- yeah.
Oh, nice.
It sounds like the zombies. I'm like, oh my god. Okay.
Yes. The sound effects, the slathering zombie-like sounds are consider them halved now that there's only one of them lying there. So you bring out your water whip, and it wraps around this thing, and pulls it up in the air, and just slams into the stone ground as it just sort of stands there, lies there. It's prone, so it actually your dart attack had disadvantage, but you because you had advantage due to fairy fire, it evened out, and you were able to hit with your 16. So Cordelia, can you finish it off before it even gets a turn?
How rough is it looking?
Pretty rough.
Pretty rough. All right.
I mean, it's undead. It's difficult to see for sure.
Yeah,
you don't see any gaping wounds or blood, but the worms are not sort of coursing through it as vigorously as they were before.
Then we'll screw it, and we'll do another Toll the Dead for 2d12 because it's taking damage. And as Cordelia brings out her almost like Reaper staff, begins to twirl it round, and it makes this kind of weird like ringing sound as it spins. For 12 damage if it hits.
All right, come on, I'm due for some good rolls here. Oh,
Don't you get an extra D8 on top of that for 6th level cleric? Or is that 8th level?
It's 5th level you get 2, and then at 11 you get.
Yeah, no, you got like a divine. Is it 6th
Wouldn't
level?
it have added
cleric?
automatically, Jane?
I can't remember what it's called. You get it at 6th level.
I don't know. It's not popped up or anything.
I don't think. No.
I mean, I can feel magical effects a number of times, but I don't know if that.
This would be a magical effect.
I mean, I'll do that then, but I don't know how that. Does it just add an extra die to it? Or?
I'm sorry, I'm distracted with looking at something else. If you would be so kind as to check that for me. I'm realizing now, Zelmira, when you use Water Whip, you're actually casting a spell. It's not an attack.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was an attack.
It is not. It is a spell-like effect. It's like casting a spell, which means you're not able to make the 2 attacks. So you weren't able to make that dart attack after all. Was just checking that. So I'm going to give him back those hit points, but it is still took quite a bit of damage from your Water Whip.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is totally from my understanding of my character sheet. So on the character sheet, it's listed as a ranged attack, but it doesn't say it has a spell component. So I'm just like, is there a way for me to... So I know in my brain, because I just get confused.
Yeah, it doesn't have a component. You're using key to cast the spell.
So that is always a spell then, if I'm using key points.
I think so. I was looking at it, and it says as an action you can spend 1 key point to do it.
Right.
So you're not taking the attack action.
You're not casting a spell. You're taking an action to do the Water Whip.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just like, I'm so confused because I would have been
right.
marking off spell slots had I.
The little words within the various things very important.
Thanks, friendos.
Yep. So.
I'm still a little unsure what that would do.
No, it's level 8. Sorry, Panda.
Okay, no worries. So, I mean, if it was looking, without that extra damage, is it not looking that? Is it like looking better? Like
undead, difficult to say.
Okay.
Based on the damage you saw the other one take, and looking at this one, and just the overall vigorousness of it, this attack. Let's see. How much did you do? It failed, by the way. So
it would have been 12 damage.
12 damage. So I can't tell you, like, I can't give you a clue as to what abilities to use or not use based on.
My original plan was inflict wounds, but hearing the damage, it sounded like he was, because he's prone too. I thought, oh, he's probably on his last leg, so I'll just use a cantrip. But once it's fine. I've already done it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yep. So it appears to be nearly disintegrated from this Toll the Dead as the actual skull splits from the damage that you've done with your spell, and worms begin to pour out onto the floor and sort of move away from their host, which is no longer capable of sustaining them, only getting a few feet before ceasing to move. However, it is still up as it takes its action to... unless, Cordelia, you have a bonus action or a movement that you wish to do.
I could summon my spiritual weapon, but I won't. But what I will do is I will move up in front as to protect Sekhmet from potentially getting hit from something.
Alrighty. So it uses its half of its movement to stand up from prone. Looking, you can see, you can't tell if this creature was human, elven, half-elven. All racial features have been completely decayed and sort of carried away by both spell attacks, physical attacks, and just time. But writhing inside this thing is just a mass of these sickly green worms. And it lurches towards you, Cordelia, and it makes 2 claw attacks.
Can I take a reaction?
You could take a reaction whenever you wish.
I think it's got to be
I mean, it depends on what it is you're using to do a reaction.
I think it's got to be within 10 feet of me. Hang on, I'll double check. Carry on.
All right. It attacks you twice. I'm hitting AC 13, AC 17.
Both miss.
Both miss.
I'm AC 18.
And then a worm just sort of moves out of it and begins to move towards you, and it flicks it with its hand, and it moves right onto you. I need a dexterity saving throw, Cordelia.
Wow.
Big money,
Well.
no whammies.
And 18.
You are able to easily bat this thing away. It moves through the air, landing against the wall, falling to the ground, and then begins to slowly try and make its way towards you. But completely ineffectual turn for this creature, which will bring us to Bolitas.
I will move forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Slow and steady.
So I've obviously bonus action with Shillelagh, and then I will attack, firing thunder down my staff.
Alrighty.
And still...
No thunder! No thunder!
Too late! Roll it!
It's booming blade, so it's not like...
Oh, okay.
It's not combustible. It's still at an advantage, yeah?
Yes.
I don't know why I can't roll this thing up. It's so changed. 19 to hit.
Alright, that is a hit.
So that is... 7 damage plus... Has that added anything? I think it has. Hang on. I need a DC 14 save.
It fails as it had 1 hit point left, and the damage that you do is more than enough to cause the body to crumble underneath the weight of your blow as the worms move out in a sort of carpet, again sort of splashing and flopping around in the formaldehyde before eventually going still. Actually, it had more than 1 hit point left, and it regenerated a little bit at its last turn, but not that much. And it is dead.
That would have been 15.
Boy, they were screwed by the initiative on that one.
Is the other worm that was heading towards me, is that also dead?
It is still heading towards you.
Really?
That noise.
But I was wondering if anyone would remember, but you certainly did. As you look at it, as it begins to creep towards you, you think that having it touch you would be a really bad thing. Halo of Spores, Bolitas looks down and sees it moving and and it is dissolved. And now there is nothing upon this floor except thousands of dead worms in formaldehyde. The fumes are intense. You will need to vacate this area very quickly or risk being overcome.
Yeah, Yeah, we're gonna go.
Everyone out, let's shut the door.
Run away. Run away. Run away,
Away
from the filth and the stench.
trenches.
Run away.
Shane makes a slightly panicked noise
Yes.
as he runs up to safety.
Surprising herself, Silmira goes, "Oh!" and runs out of the room.
So shutting the door is a little bit of a comfort, but of course not all that useful, as there is no roof and many of the walls have faded, or chunks of the floor have gone. There's any number of ways that anything living in this room could still get at you, despite the fact that the door is closed. However, there does not appear to be anything alive
The
or
idea of there
undead.
being just no walls at all, and there's just a door frame. It just shuts the door like, "For you."
Yes.
We all
Well.
know how well closing doors works for our campaign.
Indeed. That was amazing. I think everyone except for 2 of you rolled above a 15 on your initiative. That'll do it.
I rolled a 1.
You did, but you finished it.
But I am a turtle, so that
Glad
makes
he got a
sense.
turn, as useless as it was. But these are nasty things. I'm very glad.
Does can Jexter prestidigitate a lot of the worm corpse out of the out of the room and into the?
Indeed, you have several means at your disposal of ways to just sort of clean out this area. And after a while, corpses of worms are gone. The scent of formaldehyde is intense, but with no further fire or lightning spells being cast, you think that as long as you're careful with open flames, you should be safe.
Now that
Especially-
it's not liquid and in gaseous form, it's probably much less volatile, right? So it probably won't explode anymore.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
That sounds like science to me, Shane.
Yeah.
You used the big word, volatile.
Yeah, I was convinced by that word alone.
I was making that up because
But-
the thing about
Volatile
glass is
jettison.
when it's really hot. A lot of the things you put in turn to
Elmira's
different
tail
colors. So there's
comes
like
up
things that
and
are brown,
rests
and you
right on
add
Shane's
the
lips.
and it's like. By the
You're
way,
done,
have you
you're
ever
done.
killed clay pottery? Okay, I'll stop.
Artem is just totally in like rapt attention. He's very effective. No, keep going.
Right. Well done, friends. That was a problem, and now it is not.
Thank
However, the larger problem still exists. As the remainder of this day goes on, lots of books to read.
I will
You get 2
Rafts to build.
rafts to build. If anybody gets particularly bored,
Blast to blow.
both Ashen Mal and Ashen Bun are very willing to provide distraction.
I'm gonna try to translate the tome again.
Go for it.
Zelmira is going to continue to follow Ashen Maul around to make sure he doesn't get up
Stop
to
it.
any miss. You
Leave me
stop
alone.
it. Well, don't give me a reason to follow you, and I won't.
Zelly,
Yeah.
people with pent up energy might just need a way to release stress. Why don't
Okay,
you?
so I understand what you're saying, but remember, he made a huge mess the last time he was here.
Who cares? Let him make a mess.
Put him on leads.
Fine. And
Set up-
Zelmira walks away.
Yes. Yeah.
Looks at you. Dude, thank you.
Just, outside of our living quarters, please.
Yeah, outside the living quarters.
I got you.
Please.
Can Jexter give me an inspiration on this roll for translating? I know it's a skill check, not a D20
It
inspiration.
is a skill check.
Yeah.
Can
So,
I give him my D6, maybe?
Well, Jexter's got freebies, saviors.
Can't hand
Right.
over D6s. You can
Yeah,
hand
you
over
can't hand over
D20s.
D6s. However, yes, Jexter, not being present here, I would normally say is not available to be used in such a way. But in this case, I will allow it.
All right.
Very kind.
Yes.
I rolled a 6.
The fumes of the formaldehyde making your
Yeah.
eyes burn in water. It's difficult to focus.
Can I give him my D20?
That can be.
Okay. I will.
Clever girl.
Although
Cordelia crosses her arms and is watching you as you work, and you feel intense pressure to do well. She's just staring at you.
Roll it.
All right. Okay, so
Party
that's a
finds a way.
17 plus my D6 inspiration.
Can I also cast guidance on him?
Not for this one, we've decided.
Not for this one,
Fair
unfortunately,
enough.
because it
So-
takes him an hour going over it.
That one is a 4 on the D6 inspiration plus my 4 for my intelligence bonus, so that's a 25.
25 is enough. As you are able to put the final pieces of this puzzle together, you realize, oh, yes, it's like you were so close before, but these two sigils that look so very, very similar that you thought they were the same are actually slightly different. And once you determine that they are, and you know what to look for, you are able to complete the cipher, and you are able to read the book. It will still take you time to unlock what you have. But this is something called Mordenkainen's Manual of Certitude. You determine that once you attune to it, it will, as long as it is in your possession, you can use it to ritually cast Detect Magic and Identify. However, there is no chance that there can be any false read when using the spells from this book in such a way. Nistel's Magic Aura, which can be used to obfuscate magical auras for Detect Magic, ineffective against Detect Magic cast from this book. Also, certain items that are cursed will identify as benevolent when you use the Identify spell. You use this book, you will know exactly what they are. It takes longer than an hour to attune. It will take a day's worth of reading to attune to this.
Cool.
Yeah,
It
it's not like you've
should
got
be in D&D Beyond for you to put in your character sheet. If it is not, I will see to it. Sometimes I don't set things up correctly.
It's a wizard's fact checker.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
If anybody else wants it besides me, I mean, I have.
You have to be able. You have to have these spells on your spell sheet.
Okay. Those I do. Guys, we're running out of time, and I kind of have a last-ditch idea.
Go on.
This is a thought plane. I know we didn't really want to call things to us, but we're out here on our own. If we all collectively try to reach out, maybe something will hear us.
But
Worth a try.
what?
Yeah, who are we calling out to?
That's the problem. I'm worried about what would come.
I'm worried about things disintegrating. I mean, I think I love your boat idea.
What about what about the thought raft?
The thought raft is there's a lot of us. I'm happy to help put things together, but I'm concerned. Shane.
Maybe we can try and reach out to a specific deity.
I could try and reach out to my kind of the ones I'm connected to, you know.
I've got
Up
a
there.
few connections.
Yeah, but nothing against you.
Sounds like
Sekhmet,
it is, though.
But you no, that's why I'm saying it's
I think everything is worth a try. I tried to contact the one that and she mimics Shane's movements of like the head nodding back, my connections, and they have not responded to me.
right.
So,
This
I'm
is
just
a
saying
plane.
I'm just
Sorry, if I could just interject just right here, Cordelia. your prayers, you did feel comforted by the prayers. However, if you wish specific responses in exchange for questions, there are spells which need to be cast.
I don't think I have those spells.
You can prepare a cleric, correct?
Yes.
Well, then you are able to prepare them.
I always forget about that. I always forget that.
But praying, for the most part, you feel a strong connection to your god or goddess when you pray, and you feel comforted by it usually. But in terms of actual messages, these require casting some spells. I'm so sorry. You were
That's
saying.
okay. I
Shane.
feel like a death god wouldn't feel comforting, anyways.
Well, it depends on how you define comfort.
Felt like I was in a coffin. It was bliss.
Happy to help. Shane, what were you saying?
I would just kind of reach out in my mind and say, I'm in a real bind here. I have listened to you, and both Cordy and Mira are safe, but I don't know if I can keep them safe much longer for whatever they're supposed to do, like you told me. I don't understand their purpose. I know I need to keep them both safe, but I'm struggling. So if either of you can help, I need to. I'm at the end of my rope, is what I will say. Just reaching with whatever I felt whenever I was in presence of those two sort of advisors that I sort of knew. Just extending the whole of the energy I feel like I have left in me in that direction to send that. Yeah.
You send out your thoughts, and the moment you feel yourself think, I am at the end of my rope, I am desperate, there's a sinking feeling in your chest. This thought, this conviction that things are bad and only going to get worse, it seems to compound upon itself. There is no answer that you can determine. And that will bring us to the end of this day. As everyone is able to get another long rest, as you continue to bring things down, creating your little collection of goods, pondering whether or not the thoughts of Artem are a good idea or a bad idea. In the night, Belitis, your skeletal hand, which is still around, correct?
Let me just double
Animate
check.
dead, what?
Animate dead. Yeah, doesn't say, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Main control for another 24 hours. I must. Oh, so yeah, I have to cast it again.
Do you?
After 24 hours, I do. Yeah.
All right. So
But
each
obviously
day
it hasn't
you
been 24 hours yet.
Yeah, you sort of keep it up, but you begin. So you're resting, and you feel a timer sort of on the inside of sort of an internal clock as the magic that is sustaining this hand is moving right down, and it causes you to stir, and you get up and look around, seeing your sleeping companions, and you look and you see that parts of the floor you're on have now, different rooms have begun to separate. This area that you are and the kitchen, you're actually starting to, rooms are beginning to sort of subduct under one another as the magic that holds the walls together itself are fading, and there's just trash and rubble and detritus from the various rooms now floating in and amongst the 2 floors. Some of the rooms appear to have disappeared entirely. The most notably the grassy knoll room is barely visible at all. The staircase leading upstairs, there is no connection between the bottom staircase and the top staircase. The staircase itself is actually floating in between the 2 floors. So, like, if you could will yourself to a little island that is just the staircase, and then from that you could will yourself a little higher and further over to the upper floor. Sort of looking around at this sort of floating chaos, something catches your eye. Far distance, about, again, difficult to say for sure, but it appears to be some kind of organic creature, at least in shape. But as you look at it, it doesn't appear to be moving, but it is definitely coming towards you at speed.
I wake the group.
So, a long rest has not been achieved yet, as...
Do I know how long it's going to be here?
At the speed it's moving, it depends on the size of it. Make a perception check.
Short rest?
Short rest, yes.
Just a quick question. What is the name of that
22.
spell? I just realized I was actually 3 prepared spells lower than I should have. I only had 6 and I was meant to have 9.
Oh, so there's augury, divination. I don't think you have access to commune yet.
No, I think augury is the only one I think I can get.
What's the other one? Augury and... Am I thinking of divination? I might be.
Clairvoyance?
Clairvoyance?
Divination's a 4th level spell.
Divination's 4th level. Okay, thank you. So yes, augury.
I'll take augury then.
Augury. Your perception of 22.
Yes.
You think this thing is huge, massive. As it gets closer, it appears to be roughly in the shape of a leviathan from the ocean, a gigantic whale with its back tail sort of up and spread. And except the tail doesn't move, it appears to be fixed. And as it gets closer, you see what appears to be almost sail-like structures coming up from the upper part of it and also extending along its side and coming underneath it a bit. And it is moving towards you very quickly. You think it'll be close to you within 15 minutes.
Okay, so obviously being nowhere near the end of a long rest, I will wake everyone up.
Right. As you're awoken by Boletus and he draws your attention to this, you're all easily able to see it making its way towards you. What do you do?
I will set up a signal flare.
Wait. Really?
Just I can touch something and cause it to light, and so I'll cast a bright light, and I'll start doing a Morse code in the direction of like a beacon to signal that we're here.
Okay. Does anybody stop Artem from doing this?
I just worry that this is what I was talking about.
Do you have a better idea, buddy?
What other choices do we have?
Do you think that this thing is going to rescue us?
If it doesn't, we're probably no worse off than going it alone.
Does it look like a vessel?
It does look like a vessel, in point of fact.
Worst case, if they do try to kill us, we can fight back, kill them, and take the vessel.
I'm gonna use my augury to ask my deity if they are good?
Yes
or,
and no question.
Is this a good idea?
Do they? Yeah. Is this a good idea?
Specifically, alerting them to your presence.
Yes.
So, you see before you, as you cast this spell, concentrate, you see hovering in the air before you, superimposed over your vision, sort of slitted eyes, a skull, which many religions would consider a bad omen, but for you, not necessarily. But as you're watching, first one, and then 2, 3, 4, all of the teeth fall out of the skull, and then it splits, incomplete and broken. This is a bad portent.
This is a terrible idea. We probably should hide so they don't think there's anyone actually here.
Oh,
We do not want to alert them to our presence. They most likely mean us harm.
okay, okay, and I'm gonna cast Rope Trick.
All right.
So, that's a good question, because doesn't it go to it goes to the astral plane, doesn't it?
No, it's a demi-plane.
Or demi-plane.
A plane pocket. Plane pocket.
That's what I was gonna do.
Plane pocket.
Death pocket.
Wait,
Somebody
what?
should really do something. Yeah. When it gets close, I'm going to.
Is
That
the
is a
position of
damn
rope trick
good
relative?
Yeah, these are good questions.
Well,
All right.
obviously, Strahd is in a demi-plane. You can do it in Strahd, so... wherever you are.
Yeah,
You can't actually.
you can't.
Only if
do
Strahd
it.
lets you.
Oh, well, okay, so you let us then.
But
Yes.
but that demiplane is under the control of Strahd. No one controls the Astral Sea.
Strahd does.
Yet.
Okay. I am ancient. Does rope trick work in Astral? I'm going to say yes. And as long as you're able to, in your own mind, have an idea of what is down,
I see.
Down is under my feet.
down is under your feet. And I don't.
see
You cannot
Z as
do
being
rope trick
quiet.
inside rope trick, but you can't. That's creating a demiplane inside a demiplane. You can't. I think you can use it in Astral Sea. So
It's still a plane, right?
Yeah.
So
still a plane of existence. So how do you cast rope trick, Artem?
Haven't really thought about how that would work. Channeling. I have all these ideas for different spells. Let me circle back to you on that. I'll come up with a really cool description at the top of the next game.
Well, as you are looking at this and you see Artem sort of thinking, all right, as he abandons his plan to set up the flare, and he appears to be contemplating something else. About 500 feet away, this huge vessel comes to a stop. In many ways, it resembles a sea-going vessel. It appears to be made out of wood or some sort of wood-like substance. The back of it sort of comes up akin to a giant whale's back fin, but looking at it closer now, it is merely aesthetic. Nobody has gone to great lengths to make this appear realistically to look like a Leviathan. It's just a structural. From far away, it has that appearance. And there are two large sail-like structures, masts that are sticking up from the middle, and there's a shimmering gossamer look to the sails. They don't appear to be made of canvas, and the sort of side sails, if you will, appear to be much more firm. The sails in the middle appear to be somewhat ephemeral. The ones on the side appear to be actual constructed, either very thin planes of wood or perhaps some sort of skin pulled tight. And as you are watching two smaller vessels detach and begin making their way towards the floating remains of Fistandia's mansion, you have moments to escape. And that is where we will pick up again in 1 week's time. Thank you all for joining us.